people and people like us, our region, saying that we have to stand for ourselves. We should not be destroyed like what had happened to them. These people should not, come in and intermingle themselves slowly, but slowly comes like a waves of a sea or ocean that comes slowly but slowly, and all of a sudden just engulf you and take you, you know. That's what I take in from what he said. Usually when Zol got kalam, listen wisely and see why Zol got kalam there, rather than you just run into conclusion mahaja wahida because you want to block what he's saying, or what he's saying is hurting you, or you just want to brainwash nas yimshi betariktak alita fogo, because you actually find yourself, you kalas like you've been weakened or sold out, or to the idea of those barbaric cultures, or something like that. But anyway, I should not go deeper in that. But it's really something to think about. Like, look how we Equatorians, we've been broken down into like nothing but just arguments and fights and going on top of each other. And the other thing is like, I find out like mostly humans, we don't listen to, we don't hear, we don't listen to understand, but we hear to answer. Not listening to understand why this person is saying, to take in, but just hearing quickly to have an answer, preparing yourself to have an answer, not taking in. That's why you see there's a lot of people who are, not wise, really, unwise people. And those wise people carry themselves loudly, and then they think that they really matter, or they think that they are very important, or they think that, they're they match up to society, or to intelligence, or to something that they amount to leading people or something. But when they are so much distraction really to people. That's all they are. That's what they do, because the words don't have a value. The words don't carry any value, and doesn't make sense at all. So I'm just thinking that Equatorians, as we going in and etiquette's fixing up the the mechanism things behind the scene over there. So I said, let me say hello and just say these things. You're all welcome, as we all do it together. It's not us talking towards you, not you talking towards us. We talking it together. We doing it together, finding solution, speaking at one another. Sometimes we might come out as a bit harsh towards each other, you that side or us this side, but I pray that we take time, even though we disagree in things. I pray that we find it in our hearts to be patient with each other, because this is the process of growing and learning. This is the process of embedding in wisdom. You go through things, you learn things been said to you, you hear them, and you become expert in life, or expert in in something. How you carry yourself, how you solve problems, how you think is very important. I think I will stop here, with much appreciation for you guys to hear my voice. And this time I really want to appreciate you, CJ. Like, I really, really want to appreciate you, the so much that you brought in, and so much that I've learned from you. And I'm just like, watching some people, and I don't even, this gets me emotional, really. When it comes to Equatorial, people like you, Nasrami, when you see our, our brothers and other people, you see what they say, how they act, carelessly. They don't care the things they say, even the approach to the matters of Equatoria, the things that matters to us. They don't care. They only in for their, personal gain, positions and stuff like that. But when I see you, and I hear you, like when I hear you, sorry that I see you, when I hear you talk and put in really, and bring all these histories that we don't even know, like I don't know much about those things back there. But when I hear you talk, and it's like, wow, like I wish these people will have this heart, really. I really pray that God really double up blessing upon you. I just wanted to know that I appreciate you so much. I appreciate everybody that put in the effort. Other brothers too, like Nasrami, not to forget you too, Etika. You know, yeah.
Sure.
I just want to acknowledge you that you've done great. So yeah, I'll leave it to you, CJ.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, CJ,
Yeah.
go ahead, please.
Yeah. Oh, thanks a lot, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, fellow countrymen, brother Attica and sister BD. Yeah, indeed, it's a wonderful times that for us to get engaged with our people. Equatoria, wherever you are, we say our greetings to you guys in the name of Equatoria, the land that we once, every one of us, of course, are proud of as Equatorians, where we have mothers, sisters, uncle, dad, who have been buried in that land. So this shouldn't make us change our minds when we get to a foreign land, wherever we are in the refugee camps and all that. Those are all temptations in our life. We should always stand still because that's a part of our life. Life is all about fighting. It's a struggle. Since the beginning of the day, when you are born, as innocents, you don't know what your moms might have gone through, your dad might have gone through, all these parents of yours. So because of all this, that's why nobody should give up his land. Nobody should even get engaged and become a friend of an enemy, somebody who don't want you to live, to survive as a human being in this earth. God have created us all in his image, that every one of us should have been free. Nobody should go and start abusing the others. Yeah. Particularly, you don't want somebody who can deceive you as well. We need to be perfect, particularly when we're claiming that we're brothers and sisters. So there's always differences, of course, in life. Yet the situations we're enduring now, the time things we're now facing, it isn't easy. It is terrible. Nobody would accept it. As should it, even if you are one family members. Nobody would accept abuse because the life God given us is precious. Everyone has his role. We all play roles. Some says this life we're enjoying is a theater. Others, this is the temptations. Others says there's no life here. There's no use for this life. It is hopeless. But overall, what controls us is the faith, love, and our persistence to keep on going, irrespective of everything that is good or bad. So remember that very well, Equatoria. When we're speaking, it is not for the sake of saying I am better than you, or I know better than you, or else Mr. X speaks better than you. No, it is just an expression. The worst of all is that when you began to live it, that is sometimes when you'll be silent. You'll have no word even to express what is going on with you, like the situation in our country. It is painful. It is sad to hear day after the other that you have lost a loved one, that somebody is fallen for no reason other than a man-made, a neighbor-made. That's why comes the 10 Commandments. Love one another, it says Jesus. It's unfortunate. Again, there seems to be there are some others who have no feeling that this life, nobody controls this life. Other than that, we are all in it, and we should participate in it and share it fully. If things were to go the way how others thought, they may have not enjoyed the electricity today. We may have not enjoyed this media. Imagine this media would have been under a selfish guy, like the BGs in South Sudan today. They're not going to release it to you, definitely. They're going to use it for their advantage, so that either you follow them or you gotta get out of the way, or else you became underneath them. No, this is not the way how it is. We should learn from each other. It's unfortunate. BGs will not learn that. So today, there's a lot of twisting in our life. As you can see, every day, day in, day out, there's a lot. We are proud of all those who are speaking the truth, such as the elements that is just recently we're going to talk about, of course, as Satika. I don't have to jump to it, but definitely what these gentlemen have spoken yesterday is something powerful. He's trying to draw attention, Secretarians, wherever we are, not to go against each other, but rather unify or become as one individuals. The matter is not fighting as one individuals or having one opinions. We may have a different opinions, but does this differentiate us? Does this let us hit each other? No, it shouldn't. We should learn from the others. We have been in the North. North was a hell in itself. Yet we managed to come together, irrespective of our differences. We fought side by side until we get the land where we are in today. Yet others went on misinterpreting it or using it for their advantage, getting everything. So that's not the kind of things that we need, of course. When we ask them in a polite way that please back up from your behavior, they wouldn't. When you say, guys, let everybody goes to his respective area and develop it, they wouldn't accept it. So we try everything, all means. We say, let's go for self-federations, federal system. They say no. Well, again, we say, let's go for unity. They turn it down. What else? The next day, we could see them in our bed. Come on, man. That's not the life we are expecting. That is not a dream that, we have come to share all these things together and fight side by side. So there's a lot to be said, yet I will conclude it. For those who might have come through some challenges yesterday, they shouldn't get mad. They should always calm down and start questioning themselves whether they are in the right track or a wrong track. It is always good for somebody to admit his mistakes if he's wrong. When we say separations, we know what we mean by that. As we repeatedly used to say, this was not our choice. We have been forced to. We are now in the edict, Equatoria. And the edict means that you're in a corner where there is a hole. If you don't work hard, if you don't try hard, you may fall into it. If you fail, there will be no chance for you. So that's why we're saying we're for separations, because separations will bring us to an end of all this suffering. Over 2 million, 3 million of people outside. So let's be that kind of a family, brothers and sisters, irrespective of differences, please. Let's always be with one word. For those who are saying unity, we have tried unity. For those who are saying federal system, we have tried it. Over the history, you might have learned it. The history of Equatoria, of South Sudan today. Every one of you knows it very well. If you don't, please, why don't you turn to your elder? Ask them. Or go to the books. You can go and deep, look around, find it out. You have now an internet. There are more many sources that you can be able to help yourself before you could come and start challenging your brother, going against him. And there's no need. It says, Atika, there are some personal issues, private issues and all that, things which are not your concern. You shouldn't have deal with it. We're now dealing with what? With somebody who's hurting us. So there is no need to go after each other and become enemies of each other. Let's be brothers and sisters, because unity starts with you. The guy who says, oh, Equatorial are not united. It should start with you as Equatorians. You should do your best, to bring your people together. Because there's no one who is going to come to you the next day and say, oh, come on, let's unite. And what is unity after all? It's an action. It is action. And
Okay, see, عشان ما take longer, sorry. Yes. لأن عملنا 30 minutes. أنا بس كنت قاعد fix these things.
All right, guys. Hopefully you did it.
Yeah, it's okay. It works somehow.
Yeah, okay,
unfortunately, just people will read it as test, but this is the continuation to the last episode of what we have spoken. So أنا ببدأ معكم هنا بالحلقة ده أولا welcoming, and then we can go deep into the video, because that video we need to kind of like analyze it carefully and then debate it on what they're saying. So let me start first by giving my greetings to everyone. Greetings to all our beloved friends, members. Okay, hold on a second. Greetings to all our beloved friends, our beloved Equatorian friends, members, and audiences, especially our gracious great Equatorian family. And not to forget also our confused and troubled enemies who cannot fathom our great Equatoria's sovereignty, which we all and in all shall be built, not through warlord or anarchist greed for power, but it will be through a genuine righteous idea of a well-built utopian nation, as we always believe and always will be, because our mindset is completely different from a tribal anarchy, and it shall be a nation that shall trust not in any forms of tribal anarchy, but in a true form of law and order, supported by the unbreakable golden rods of true freedom. Again, as I say, my beloved great Equatoria, Equatorial Salvation Council in Diaspora would like to take this opportunity in this moment to salute to all our fellow great Equatorial revolutionaries, and those back home especially, those who are suffering, those who are displaced, those who are hungry, those who are dying, and those who are in terrible condition. Our hearts and minds are with you, and we salute you always, my brothers and sisters, our brothers and sisters. We salute you in the name of justice, accountability, and equal rights. We salute you in the name of Greater Equatoria, a Greater Equatoria that is not like any other Equatoria, not the Equatoria of today, Equatoria that will be better than yesterday and today. We salute you in the name of Greater Equatoria nationalism. We salute you in the name of Greater Equatoria unity, the unity of our people's struggle, and we salute you all in the name of hope and bright future for our suffering people. And we also salute you in the name and the true genuine love bond that ties us all together with one another as greater Equatorians. For the bond we share with each other as people is not solely focused in our passion toward each other as Equatorian tribes, alone suffice, but which we all agree that the love for each other as a greater Equatorian tribe is the true core. But we also must admit and add to that the strong spiritual connection that we share that ties us as Equatorian community is because the spiritual bond and the blood bond that we carry in our souls and our body, in our bones, which we share with each other, is deeply rooted with our ancestral blood, of course, and that we all share it, and thus we the great Equatorians are not just merely a region. We are one people and one power against many aggressive powers and foreigners, especially those who are not from there, who try to attack and take our land, who are against our unity. And you could see some of them, unfortunately, the enemy have infiltrated some of our brothers' mentality. I'm not saying that they have been paid or been given that, but mentality-wise, they are being confused, diluted with ideas that is not theirs, like you just mentioned, and you mentioned it a minute ago, that some people are doing. I think Hadassah also mentioned that they want to worship a culture that is not theirs. They want to follow something that does not belong to them. That's exactly what they're doing. Against our unity, those people are standing. So I say, my fellow Grand Equatorians and non-Equatorians alike, we want to take this opportunity and to say thank you for taking your personal time and effort to watch and join us, and those also who are going to watch us later, those who are going to share our videos and watch it later, to this, to join us in this forum, in our, daily, like all the discussion that we have and analysis, along with some of our speech that we address sometimes here in this forum. We just want to say thank you all, and please have an open mind when you're watching. Be able to comprehend what we're saying. We're not here against anyone, especially we're not here against any person, but we're here for our people, and we're standing with what is justice and what's right. So I know some people, they don't like the truth because the truth hurt them so hard. But anyone who's enemy of the truth, he's from the dark. He's from the worst one. He's the enemy of the right thing to be done. Why you want to be in the side of evil when you could be in the side of good? Just to be an enemy of truth, you have proven yourself that you are not really worth to even be called Equatorian son, or even be described as a human being. None forget about Equatoria now. Just look at this yourself as a human. Some people, they don't want to see that. They want to see the enemy enjoying oppression, and they just want to be what they call as suck-ups, as the Americans in a simple term. The suck-ups, those are the people who will go after you only because you come from a privileged family, or you got a name and a status. But to be honest, the real heroes are not those who have status, but those in the bottom. Those who come from the bottom of the chain, those who knows the truth. Like even in war, a real hero in the battlefield is not the generals, it's not the commanders, it's the soldier. Because the soldier is there in the facing the fight, facing the fire, and he will make it happen. Because they get the order and they do it, and they don't hesitate because they have no other choice, but they have to do it, and they always become brilliant during that conflict. The difficult the fight is, the better they become. And this thing we need to know as Equatorians, especially for us. But when we are fighting our enemies, or how we are facing them, let us not be weak, let's be strong. And our strength comes when the battle gets worse, not when the battle gets easier or loose. And let's not always take the easy way out on some things that says, listen, fear is one thing that gives the conscious understanding that you have a chance to do right thing if you make the right decision. But if you put fear to control even your thoughts, your method of thoughts, afkar bitak, the way how you think, then you lose yourself. And then suddenly you see yourself become a slave. And today we have people who are mentally slave within our community. As slaves, not based on they were oppressed, but a slave they are willing by themselves to be the oppressed. And they will put the chain of ignorance, of hatred, of just envy, of grudges in themselves, and they would think they are doing great thing. Even Judas believed. When Judas Iscariot was with Jesus one time, I'm not trying to say I'm Jesus, but imagine, Judas believed he was doing the right thing. He even saw Jesus. Jesus did everything good to him, but did he ever saw that? Because he closed his mind, he closed his eyes. All he saw is that he is the right one and Jesus is wrong in his point. So he had to prove himself by making himself intellectual and do it. I mean, whatever they did, they want to do. But even Judas didn't say he's intellectual, but what he did, he felt like Jesus don't know what he's doing. And he thought he was more patriotic about Israel than Jesus. And that's why he sold him out for the money. Imagine. At the end, he got rewarded for it, but the reward was just a temporary reward, and then he regretted it because that was his curse, and he had to kill himself. So we got a lot, and the sad thing, if you look at the history of Africa, we have so many Judas in Africa today. When some of our brothers really trying to make it better for them, some of them will come and try to break it down, and they will become your enemy. They will even begin to threat you and say nonsense and try to defame you. Listen, we don't fear no one here, only God, the one who gave us life, the living God of Israel, the one who gave us life. We fear him, not you. You are nothing but a maggot, excuse my language, because a maggot is people, when they die, they eat by the worm. Every one of us is going to be eaten by the worm when we go into the ground. So you're nothing but a maggot. But some people are maggots even when they're still alive, because the method of their thoughts is so disgusting, is so backward, to the point they don't want to progress others. They put us into shame. When you see how they talk, when you see what they are trying to present themselves to, and yet they don't feel the shame that these things will be recorded in their history after they leave. So I tell them, shame on them. I know people hate when we speak on what we see and we believe in. At least I respect a man who believes in something than a man who does not believe in anything but just want to play around like he knows. And they know themselves they're a hypocrite, but they will not try to admit it. But the world see you. The world is mirror, and you're nothing there but just an image. You're that whatever the copy of that you is gonna be shown to the world, and the world will know who you are. Because sometimes when you hear somebody tell you in a rebuke, or sometimes shows you're wrong, don't be offended. You have to learn from that wrong and don't repeat it. And then say, thank you for advising me. At least I learned how I can be better. But if you come to a person and you wanted to intimidate and insult him, even to go to his personal life, to make him like you want to make yourself better, you're nothing. That shows how weak and a loser of a character you are. Because no person comes to another person to attack him in person. That shows the lower standard who you are. And even you belittle your family. Not only us, you belittle your family, you belittle even your community. And this is the worst. We Equatorians need to stand up, need to rise like men. Especially the men, these older men, who they always taking sides for things that does not help them. Things that does not give you any hope. Thing that would send you back to hell and send you back to another 10,000 years backward. Today, the enemy that we are seeing and we are crying about, some people are trying to talk about their name in the kitchen, but they will not come up publicly and say who's the enemy. Those enemies are now progressing. They are now standing stronger day by day, night by night. They are immersing. Even the world now begin to embrace them. Do you know that? Equatoria is not embraced. Tell me what the incidents in Equatoria now that's happening. What are they talking about Equatoria? They're ignoring us because we don't want to talk the facts. And then you see some people who sit 8 hours talking waste. Like your brain cells would just shut down with watching the ignorance, the sheer ignorance, the sheer audacity of what they're talking about. Grown up men. A man could even be like grandpas. They cannot even sit down with common sense and say, let's do the right thing. When other brothers come to advise them, they feel offended. When other brothers start to tell them, man, stop doing this, they feel offended. Who are you? Okay, then do it. But don't claim Equatoria on those things. Equatoria is fighting for its destiny. We are being labeled as a separatist. Yes, I accepted it. We accept that. It's not me only. We accept the idea of separation. Why? Because separation is the only solution to get us out of this limbo or this hardship that we are in. We are a whole region, for God's sake. We are more able and easier for us to deal with our own selves than to deal with other people's issues. Why you want to mix yourself, your problem, your domestic problem with somebody else's problem who's foreigner from you, who's outside of your house? It does not make no sense, for God's sake. ما بيدخل في العقل. انت بيكون مرتك هنا عندكم مشكله ده تحله، ده تيجي تجيب قصه جيرانك كمان ده تخطه معاك عشان تقول ده يا حل. Come on, man, for God's sake. What kind of planet are you living in? Or what school did you go to? I'm not trying to brag here about what school we went to, but what kind of school you went to. Even life is a school. Forget about the school, the academic schools you go to. People go to academic schools to benefit themselves so they can have a good career. But when you just, oh my God. So sometimes it frustrates us to see such ignorance being promoted with so much arrogance to the point they think they're doing something good for the community, but they're destroying our community. You're insulting us. You're insulting the dead Equatorians. You're insulting those who are fighting in the ground. You're insulting those who are defending whatever they're doing, regardless of the differences in politics we have. But let us not embarrass our people. Let's not put our, like, the language that comes out of your mouths, guys, is disgusting. The language of a grown-up man who have family will come up with words that even, I don't know who to say. Like some people will say astaghfirullah, auzu billah, in the way how we see in Sudan. It's really shameful. And yet when people criticize them, they feel like shatamona. Listen, accept criticism, but don't go and insult person in a personal way. Into going to misunderstand the whole thing. I think you need to go immerse in dictionary knowledge again to understand what is wrong and what's right. Don't say right is wrong and wrong is right. Because you guys قاعدين تلبسوا جزمة بمقلوب. شبشب بتاعكم ماشي غلط. So wake up. It's grown up men. It's shame for us to see ourselves being that way. You're promoting us that way. So you want to neck the others who are still lost, our young brothers and sisters who are still lost, or who don't know about anything, or who don't have the chance to have the opportunity one day to be leaders. You are diverting their minds into the wrong things. You are destroying their future. You are actually sending them to the wrong direction. You're giving them a bad image. And at the same time, we have an enemy who is now, immersing their nails deep into our ground to the point that we will never gain that land back again. And we'll never even be able even to be in the leadership category or status. Look at our brothers who are in the camp in Uganda. Look at those in Kenya, Congo. Look at the Khartoum. Don't you feel sadness? Even recently, Lanya, the people who got killed, those people are suffering. So what I'm saying, my brothers and sisters, please, as those who are wise, let us not encourage this ignorance to continue. Let's rebuke them. Let them hate us. Let them unfriend us. Let them cut us off. It doesn't matter. I've been demonized by a lot of people, and you could see them always. They wanted to carry my name. It's almost like I'm a prayer. Or if I told them, if you want my name, I can give it to you. Go and put it in your ID so you can be named that way. So I don't care. But stop talking nonsense. Grown-up men act like they are less than children. I mean, you guys are lowered your standard. And yet and also I want our people to understand, let's not be, play this mujamalat, this appeasement. It exposes us to become hypocrites. When we become like these appeasers in the moment when we are in a difficult moment in our history, it will bring us to destruction. Please, that's why I say to you, let us not entertain such foolishness, ignorance that does not help us but bring us back to a stone age. The enemy is standing still because we are letting fools to lead us, not the wise, not the people who got the chance and the heart to make something different. We want to see Equatoria rise, not Equatoria fall. Today we see ignorance can be promoted. I understand people can talk, but let them talk in a common sense. But not talk nonsense, insulting, hating, and creating all these fitanus, hajat al-mind mana. And then somebody want to say, I will threat you if you do it. I don't care. You can go and threat me. Try and kill me. I will give you my address. Come and try to kill me here too if you want. Because I'm not afraid of that. But stop being a fool and embarrassing our community, Equatoria. Leaders are not the ones who go and say, Wallahi Tana will destroy it. Leaders Tana. What are you talking about? Did we ever insult a leader? We criticize their wrong. We don't want to be led by ignorance. We don't want to led by people who don't even care about us. We want to see our country, our people get a chance. That's not the way how we see them. We understand what is true and what's wrong. We're not here to be loved and liked by anyone. Because this is not about you liking me. I have people who love me. I have people, they like me. They like me for who I am. Even if I'm fallen, if I'm a what, they like me who I am. But I won't come here and promote about myself. I don't promote myself out here to tell you who I am, what did I do in my life. It doesn't matter. Because then I will die and I'll be a maggot like anybody who goes to the ground. But what I want to do here is I cannot see my people suffer. We cannot. This is why we are here. It's not only me. A lot of brothers and sisters who care, they come up here and stand. Even some people, I'm proud of them when they come and speak or write down good points. It encourages. It gives us that encouragement that we have to fight. I know if we are now kan نشتم ولا نقدر نعمل حاجات تلقى الفورم ده مليان يمكن لقريب ممكن 400 ذاته كان في طريقة وإن لو كدابين منافقين they put us in there. They'll be like تعال اسمع لكن they don't want to learn the good thing. And we're not here to say we are leaders. We're here to say let's wake up together. Let's come up with ideas. Let's help each other so we can rise as a community out of this ash that is killing us. This dust that is covering our history, our name. Our ancestors in the ground are rolling, crying. Where is our children? Did we make a mistake to have these kind of kids? So now some of them are grown. Some of them are down. I don't know what's going on. We're supposed to learn from our suffering to be even wiser, not to be foolish. We're supposed to rise up in a point where we can help the others there. When we were brought to these countries, in the Western countries, if it's America, Canada, Europe, Britain, Australia, whatever the countries you live in, we're supposed to be the voices, the stronger eyes to our brothers, the hand that will lift them up from that pain, from that sorrow, from that agony, instead of letting them cry and wonder who's going to save them. And yet you want to talk about, I belong to this guy, I support this guy, respect this guy, we respect this. Some leaders, they're already gone, dead and gone and buried, dead, buried and gone. Even the maggot have ate them to the bone. Why you want to continue talking about them when they did leave a legacy? At least they left a legacy. What did you leave? Only just becoming a cheerleader? And then if somebody criticized one of the leaders, even like, look at the West, they criticize even Churchill, who's dead centuries ago. Churchill, who's gone, he saved England. The man, some people criticize him for his wrong, because that's record of his history. He made some mistakes when he was a leader, but does not insult Churchill. People appreciate him, people respect him. How many leaders have been, criticized, but they're not disrespected? You guys misunderstand what is respect and what is criticism. When we come together on a point that try to say, let's wake up, let's stand together, let's unite, let's be one force that can be reckoned with, we are trying here to create confusion, diffuse the right, making the right look wrong and the wrong look right. We have been watching this conflict going on for how many? 16 years? Our people are dying. ناس نقتلوهم يحجروهم ولحد ما في حل غير ناس ماشيين في اتفاقيات، ناس ماشيين يصفقوا، ناس ماشيين يشوفوا قائد يتكلم، ناس ماشيين يشوفوا منه. يا جماعة, put hand to hand together. Let's wake up. Some people say we talk too much. Okay, you think we talk too much. But why we talk here? Because we care. Because our heart is burning with pain. We cannot bear to see these insults. These people are mocking us and some of our brothers who are outside. Instead of helping, they are fueling the agony with mocking each other, feeling jealousy, feeling hatred. Tomorrow you might die and gone. Then when God asks you, what did you do in your life? You just created this nonsense in your life? For God's sake, we are people. Let's think like people, not think like animals. Even animals now, they're better. If you look at the animal planet, you will see how animals are wise enough. They can gather together to do something good. Why can't we Equatorians do that? Just simple as it is. We are not afraid of no one, only God. We Equatorians we have always been a strong community. We've always been the strongest community in the whole South Sudan. And that's not something to be exaggerated. We have proven time and time we are resilient, we are capable, and we are definitely able to make anything happen. And we know how to live together in harmony, and we know how to resolve it. And we use our knowledge in things to empower and even to what do you call it, to evolve or improve our culture to the best. Now the new generation are building something. They came up with something. They wanted to come with the old generation so we can see what's wrong and let's fix it so our people can be saved. The enemy, they're terrified when Equatorians are united. Why are we afraid to be under the one banner of Equatoria must stand and decide for themselves? And that's where our unity starts, not the way how we got to be united. And even if you talk about unity, some people they repeat the word unity as if like I need to bring him a Equatorian woman or I need to sleep with him so he can understand that that's what unity is. Unity is not about that. So let's not be lunatics. Let's not get that lunacy to be our excuse or our common sense. That's not common sense. That's actually illogical. It's disgrace. And for a grown-up man to think in a negative thinking when Equatorians are coming together, let's stand for something. We're not here to talk about shamarat. We're not here to talk about nonsense. We're not here to insult anyone. We're here to stand for Equatoria. That's the simplest thing we can do. Equatoria must rise as one people, one voice, one heart, one mind, because time is ticking against us. We got only 4 years left. 4 years. Last time we said 5. 4 years. When the end of this year's end, we're going to have 3 years left. After that, time will begin to tick faster. And now look at the enemies. You know, you have to understand an enemy is coming to challenge us. Enemy are destroying our territory. Enemy are not interested to see Equatoria strong. They want to use the weakling, putting them in positions, making them look like they're the leaders, but in the end they are not going to benefit us. How many has been watching them doing the same game? Like I said, anyone come from SPLA, to me, I believe they're SPLA. Like last time I mentioned, any roots, you know, you look at the roots. If that seed is orange or apple, it has to come orange or apple. It cannot be something else. Nor a duck can lay an egg of a chicken. Nor a chicken can lay an egg of a duck. This is the reality. This is the nature. This is what they call it, the law of nature. We Ecuadorians are supposed to know what's our law of nature. We have to stand up for our people. But today, sadly, some of us, they don't care about the people down there. If they care, they will listen to the truth and they will stand up, because the fight is really getting worse. And some people, they don't even see it until too late. Last time I said, well, until that we come and cry like, oh, yeah, late, which is the worst word to come in your mouth as a man. Let any person say that, but not you. Especially you're a man, don't say that word, yeah, late, because that is, God gave you all the power. Finas, ana shuftum, young people, younger than me when I was a kid, and they did hustle their way like you would not believe. They were brave enough to go to the hardship in their life, and they made it to the West, to the toughest time. And they proved resilience. And that's what man is. Man is not, just want to praise and follow people. They want to do the right thing so they can make their dream come true. Our ancestors left us a dream to continue. And now we're killing their dream by accepting to be in the West and living the life of the West, not even gaining knowledge from the West so we can go and build our home. But no, we want to stay outside and then تلقى ناس بيتكلموا شمارات، ناس إهانات، حاجات ما عنده فايدة, and then we insult ourselves. يلا تلقى الناس بيكونوا popular لما إننا قاعدين نشد مثلا كأننا بنكون number one في the Facebook. But it's so sad. This is what you are trying to put Equatoria in. Equatoria is supposed to stand for Equatoria in the right way. Time for us is ticking. So I don't want to go long. It's just that it's really painful to see what happened yesterday with this nonsense. Drama بتاع ناس كبار زي كانوا أطفال صغار. If a brother said something out there, even he was right to say it, because the way we behave, we need to be insulted every day. Hey, let them come and talk when they talk bad about us, because we show them what we are. Especially when we allow some village idiots who are the one coming up and talking nonsense, wanna act like the chief brigadier stability. So what I want to say here, my brothers and sisters, I will continue. Today is a topic we're going to be about. Yes, Mr. Moro, I'll get you in a second. Hold on. Inaida, the topic today is going to be about this guy Lual. لأنه ده نعمل تحليل في كلام ده. سياسة هنا الاعترافات, like these political confessions that they're playing. If you look at it, like I said here in the Arabic, سياسة الاعترافات ما الهدف منه في ظل الظروف التي تعيشه مجازر في شتى أنحاء الولايات. طبعا we have to include the whole country, but we know the conflict اللي أصلا أساسها الكونفليكت وأسباب الكونفليكت شنو. لكن عاوزين ندخل فوق الديب بدرجة عشان نقدر نعمل analysis on that point, ونشوف هل ده بيعني انه اصلا انت اعترافات ناس زي وكلاماتهم ممكن يطلعوا فوق يعمل نفسهم هم اصلاحيين عاوزين يلعبوا دور اصلاحيه. هل بيعني انه هم قاعدين يغيروا ده يعني تغيير مسار الحكومه جنوب السودان ولا عندهم اهداف ساميه ام تضليليه؟ لان عندهم اهداف صحيح نبيل، يعني اهداف زي بيقول عندهم حقيقه، او بكون فوق كذب بس دين يخشونا يضللونا عشان نجا شنو نضيع من حقيقة بتاعنا, which is exactly right now when Equatorians, we are now Equatorian calling for separation. حاجة ده سكدي أجج الناس زين, they're not happy and they think we're joking هنا. We are serious about what we're saying. We are the Equatorian, not them, and we will decide who we are and how we will make our nation become a nation. This Equatorial land, it belongs to us. Alidero Mader, زي ما اللبنانيين بيقول خليه يبلط البحر. احنا ماشيين على المسار ومسارنا حقيقي، لكن نحن نقرر مصير ده على طريقه ديمقراطي حق شرعي، لانه المواطن الاستوائي لازم يلقى حقه ويصور، عشان المواطنين الاستوائيين يعرفوا هم مين، وهم ما ناس عبيد زي ما ناس قاعدين يقول ولا هم يحررونا. احنا صوتنا، الشعب كله كان صوت في بدايه قطر الواحد، لكن لانه الناس عندهم طمع وقبليه وعندهم خطط من بدايه مرسومه، اليوم الخطه بتاعهم ظهرت والبلد انكسرت، وزي ما قالوا كان مويه كبته في ارض ما بيرجع تاني في كوبايه. واليوم المويه بتاع وحده جنوب السودان اتكبت من يوم اللي حركه الشعبيه عمل احتكار للشعب بتاع استوائيه. واكثر ناس اللي يتلقوا الزل هم استوائيين. ليه؟ لانه في ارضنا، في العاصمه، في منطقه بتاع اجدادنا شالوا المقابر بتاع اجدادنا. كده ورينا يا مقبره في على النيل شالوه عشان نقدر نقول لهم. اذا هم شالوها نقول اوكي في مشكله هناك، لكن احنا بتاعنا ده على النيل ما نازل، جو كلهم جاء قالوا تربه بتاع اجدادنا عشان يبنوا فوق هوتيل، قتلوا ناس في جو بيوتهم، خلي بقى من مقبره بتاع ناس اللي لسه نايمين تحت. ده بيراو اهانه. ده مويه دفك هنا خلاص. كان قالوا spill milk is like a waste. you cannot come and say احنا نرجع تاني نجي نعمل مصالحه. بعدين احنا مع الشماليين اذا فرتكنا خلينا ما نكون منافقين. عندنا نقول لهؤلاء الناس اللي بيتكلموا نفاق بتاع وحده اللي احنا جنوبيين واحد، تبيتوا كم تؤمنوا بوحده ده انقسمتوا من الشمال؟ ما لانه الاذلال والاهانه وحاجات اللي عملوها غلط فوقنا خلانا ما نثق في بعض، وجنوبيين اكثر واحد التيبوا يس، لكن نجينا نلقى كمان تاني واحد جاي يظلمنا. no we cannot do that. خاصة لما يجي تهيننا بقى بطريقة أسوأ من العرب يعملوا لنا. وأنا ما بقول للعرب، بقول بقية العرب، لأنه ما في عربي أصلي هناك إلا ممكن في جزر عربية. لكن عندنا هنا في السودان الشمال ده وفي الجنوب ده، يعني الشماليين لما عملوا حاجات ده إحنا أخذنا قرار، الشعب أخذ قرار رغم إنه كان في غش وفي لعبات تحت، لكن في النهاية الشعب لقى الفرصة عشان يتكلم. لكن الكلام بتاعنا سكتوه بسرعة بسلاح. بقى اللي جاي هناك عمل نفسه ويا زول حررنا. في النهاية وصلنا وين؟ وصلنا اللي بقى لتدمير. واليوم هم عاوزيننا كمان يجبرونا نقعد بوحدة، زي كان شماليين قاعد يجبرونا نقعد كجنوبيين كشمال كجزء من السودان. عشان كده استوى عنده حق شرعي بكل كرامته يقدر يكون. الباقي بقى للولايات الأخرى التعبانين لازم يفكروا منطقيا، ما يجي لوك اس أن يا بيقدر ليه ما يسأل ليه. هو يشوف حاله وين حياته. انت وين مركز بتاعك هسه في الوضع اللي انت عايش؟ كلنا عايشين في وضع ما صحيح، لكن انت مركزك وين؟ ما تيجي تخافوا وتقولوا لا كونوا واقعين. في كدول الرافضين الفكره بتاع الانفصال لانه هم عندهم امراض نفسيه. انا بقولهم ديل ما ناس واقعيين. المرض النفسي في انه هم ما عارفين حقهم وين. عشان كده قال في مثل في قانون علمي كده بيقول عن الناس اللي بيقولوا ستوكهولم سيندروم. في قصه لانه حصلت بده من فتوات، يعني بنات اللي بتاع اغنياء ديل اختطفوها وخطوها مع اختطفوها، والخطف ده واحد من مجرمين عصابات ده. في النهايه البيت بقى شنو؟ بقى عنده، يعني هي تولفت معهم، بقى هي خلاص هو داير يقعد معهم، هو حب الناس زين اللي اختطفوها ده، لدرجه لما حاولوا يحرروها من زول ده استيل هي متمسكه بالناس ديل. لما الدكاتره جا عملوا بحث عنه جا لقوا انه المرض ده لما جا سموه ستوكهولم سيندروم، لان حاجه ده حصل في ستوكهولم في السبعينات اي ثينك ولا كم. المهم طبعا ده في السايكولوجي معروف. عشان كده اليوم عندنا ستوكهولم سيندروم بتاع في الاستوائيين بتاعنا عندهم ستوكهولم سيندروم اللي هم لسه متمسكين بحاجه اسمه جنوب السودان في اذلال. وهنا عشان كده تلقى يا اخي جنوبيين يا اخي ما نكون لكن اسمع خلينا نكون واضحين. العنوان بارز، عنوان خطوه في راسنا كده، قال يا اخي ده جبل دينكا، دي دينكا مادي وانا دينكا كده واحنا حررناكم من هنا. في اكتر من كده بديك عنوان تاني عشان تقدر تغيره. فالا انت مريض تكون عندك مرض ستوكهولم سيندروم عشان تقدر تقول فعلا انا متمسك بالفكره بتاع وحده. لكن لو انت زول واعي ما تقول لي يا اخي ايديولوجيز. في امبارح كوميدي ظهر هناك، يعني انا ضحكت، وانا ده انا بقوله اخوي كاتوريان لكن it's funny. وقال يا اخي احنا مع إيتاكا which is not even me, it's just they supposed to say with separatist. قال يا اخي ايديولوجي بتاعنا ما بيختلف. انا قلت يا ايديولوجي انتوا ما عندكم ايديولوجي غير شتيمه. ايديولوجي بتاعكم شتيمه وتهديد ويعني قللتوا من قيمتكم وقللتوا من قيمه الاستوائيين لما تتكلموا في حاجات ده. حتى ناس ظهروا في زوم هناك قال ده يتناقضوا. النقد بتاعهم كان يعني هم شايفينه ايجابي، لكن الزول الفاهم والانه فاتح سي الا كان زول ده كان نعسان او دقلوها بقزازتين، هو شاف شو ده قال هاي ناس عملوا جود. لكن كان زول سي صاحي انه فاتح كويس، there is nothing they could have brought to challenge what we are saying. احنا ما قلنا نشاكل في ارضنا، ما قلنا نتكلم عن ارضنا، لانه احنا ما قلنا نتكلم عن قبيله اكثر ما قلنا نتكلم عن ارضنا ومواطنين بتاعنا. القبيله اللي قلنا نشوفه هو المرتكب الجرائم هو قبيله الدنكا بكل احترامي لهم، لكن هم لما عملوا حاجات ديل هم الشعب بتاعهم ما قدروا يتكلموا بوضوح على حق بتاع الباقين. هم ما حسوا انه ده اذلال، حتى لما قتلوا النوير في جوا جوبا هم ما ناقضوا بكل جراءة كده يقول يا كير انت عملت غلط اطلع. They did not. So do you want to believe such today this propaganda if I would say it او المحتويات اللي قاعد يجي في النصوص بتاعهم قال يا اخي احنا جنوبيين وكير يا فشل البلد وفشل الحركه الشعبيه. والله الا تكون انتوا الا كانوا ولدوكم امبارح، لكن زول ما ولدوه امبارح he cannot believe such lie. لانه انتوا لو كنتوا راضين في الواقع اللي حاصل، حسنا من الاستوائيين قالوا خلاص انتهينا enough is enough، كلام ده قاعد يهز الارض. في ناس ما دين يعترفوا بالكلام لكن ما مهتمين يعترف ما يعترف. ما في حاجه واحده انا بقوله في مثل في هنا قال مرات النحاتين والرسامين artists دي لما يبدوا شغل تام، حتى الكتاب ولا الفنانين بيبدوا دايما ما في زول بيعترف بهم، ما في زول بيشوفهم، لانه انت منو ذاك بيجي طبعا من مكان ادنى منهم. يعني في المجتمع هو ادنى المستويات بتاع المجتمع. يعني هو زول جاي من عائله فقيره او جاي من عائله يعني ما مشهور، فناس بمرات بيستهتر. لكن يوما ما لما الناس يجي راجع، يا قاعدين نشوف التاريخ كتير الناس بقى بيكرموا زول، لكن زول خلاص فات واحنا ما دايرين تكريم. لكن قاعد نقول بعدين الناس بيجي بيفهموا كلام انفصال ده ليه. الانفصال اللي جاء ده يس اجبروه علينا، لكن مسكناه كواحد بيمسك شفته حجر ما منظم، لكن بيقدر يعمل من حجر ده الا تمثال جميل لما بيفوت العقل. تمثال ذاته بيقدر يكون اجمل من شخصيات ذاته اللي جايين يوصفون. فاليوم ممكن شكل بتاع الانفصال ده لوك راجد، لوك متوحش، لوك ما عنده اي كيفيه عشان يقدر يكون. لكن المؤمنين واحنا مؤمنين بقدرتنا، مؤمنين بالناس اللي واقفين معانا، مؤمنين بالشعب اللي ما عارفينهم في الضرر بتاعهم، مؤمنين بهم. and that's why we are moving ahead. إذا موسى قدر يطلع لفرعون وقال لفرعون let my people go، ما في شيء مستحيل. ولو انت بتخوت ربنا قدام وانت ماشي بالطريقة الصح we gonna go there. احنا ما هنا عشان نرفع اسم تاع زول، احنا هنا نرفع اسم تاع إكواتوريا بس، وربنا يكون مع الشعب بتاع إكواتوريا والناس المدررين في باقي المناطق، هم لازم يقيفوا على حقهم. فأنا بدي فرصة قبل ما ادي فرصة سوري كلمت كتير، فأنا بشكر الناس اللي قاعدين يحضروا. It's great and it's honor and hello to my brother John Lucky and Bin Lasu, brother Shaul and Wimna Ladu Thomas. Thank you. قبل ما نبدأ أنا جايين طبعا في عشان نقدر نعمل فاصل بسيط. أنا عارف and it's like it's crazy. You know, I cannot stop the video so I can start again, because if I did earlier I did technical issues. I'm just gonna continue. I'm just gonna put فاصلة نبدأ الفيديو بتاع زول ده، بعد كده نجي نعمل فوقه تحليل CJ and حداثة. And then I know some people wanted to come in. I'll give you a chance guys, but just let's take 1 hour if you can be patient لو سمحتوا عشان نقدر نتكلم في الموضوع ده مهم جدا. And then بعد كده نفتح منبر التحليل. أظن أنا بس بقول شنو هنا البرنامج ده هي continue again because we're gonna have a long time, you know, long time like to go to it. وهنتكلم عن الشخصية ده الوال دينغ ده اللي اتكلم. طبعا هو قال بتاع المالية، والكويس هو اتكلم بنفسه بفهمه، بس انتوا حللوا من النقاط بتاع زول ده وبعد كده نجي نجدين and then debate it and give everybody 7 minutes or at least 8 minutes to talk about that thing. Yeah. So I want to thank you for watching guys. وبنشكركم اللي حضروا. You know. Yes brother Shaul أنا بديك الفرصة in a second. I will I'll post the link. There's a lot of people want to get in. لكن عاوزين كمان إحنا نقدر make sure that الرسالة الكلام اللي قاعد نقول لأنه في حاجة مهم لازم يتحلل، يعني لازم يوصل لمفهوم بتاعنا كاستوائيين وكالشعب الجنوبي بأكمله. لكن كاستوائيين إحنا نعرف الخطط بتاع الناس زي الاعترافات بتاعهم ده أسبابه شنو، لأن هم عايزين ينطوا من السفينة زي ما قلنا كفيران عشان يلعبوا دور إن هم ناس إصلاحيين، لكننا بنعرف ده لعبة الثعلب. let me just start here, give a second, and then we go with this guy. Give me 30 seconds, just a brief so people can know. Thank you. Alright guys, I'm going to start here now. Just give me a second. That's from the guy Matiang show. Let's start here and just in a brief and then we stop.
مركز إبني للدراسات وهو قبل كده كان برضو وزير. ومرحبا بكم مرة أخرى في برنامج متيان شو. الليلة سعيدين باستضافة الدكتور الوالدين مدير مركز إبني للدراسات وهو قبل كده كان برضو وزير سابق وزير الدولة في وزارة النفط قبل استغلال جنوب السودان. بالإضافة لكده زول أكاديمي معروف عنده مساهمات كثيرة مكتوبة في القضايا الاقتصادية وقضايا بتاع الانتقال الاقتصادي تطبيقا على نماذج كثير من الدول. سعيدين ونستضيفه الليلة عشان نناقش معه كثير من المسائل، تحديدا مسألة الانتقال السياسي والاقتصادي في جنوب السودان. مرحبا بك دكتور الوالدين.
مرحبا بكم في جلابة جوبا، وصباح جميل كمان. والله كنا دارين المطر يكون فيه.
شكرا دكتور. قبل ما نبدأ الحوار نطلع فاصل ونرجع. دكتور، أول سؤال بدينا نطرحه لك، شنو حصل للرؤية الاقتصادية للحركة الشعبية؟ وانت كنت من الناس المنظرين للرؤية ده.
توقف يا الرؤية بتاعت الحركة أثناء الحق وأثناء محادثات السلام في نعيشه. كان طبعا مركز على إنه على ممكن تقول 3 حاجات: السلام عبر التنمية، يقول peace through development. ده كان الهدف من 2000 وحتى أثناء المحادثات. بعدك إنه نقل المدن للناسنا في القرى. The towns to the people in the rural areas. ثالثا make agriculture the engine of economic growth and use oil revenues to fuel it. يعني عملوا الزراعة ما كانت اقتصاد جنوب السودان وكذا السودان ككل، تحريق المكنة دي الموارد الجاية من البترول. وديل 3 الحاجات. in 2012 من بداية 2012 ناس طبعا ما قدروا يركزوا على تنمية الجنوب، طوال دخلوا مع مشاكل مع السودان وقف إنتاج النفط. كان بداية المشاكل. أنا وقتها طبعا لو أنت دخلت حرب ما بخليك تركز على التنمية، كنا دارين الزراعة يركزوا. ف وقتها في 6 شهور الأولى من يوم 9 شهر 7 2011 لغاية 31 ديسمبر 2011 الموارد البترولية كانت تجي لحكومة جنوب السودان بالأفريج المتوسط نص بليون 500 مليون دولار شهريا. وشبابنا في قيادة الحركة تحمسوا كثير وقال ممكن نقفل وعندنا بريد كفاية. أنا ما كنت في مجلس وزراء، لكن أنا سمعت من رئيس الفصل لو قفلنا ده راح نلقى شوي، وشباب متحمسين قالوا راح يدون أصدقائنا. طبعا سبب قفل البترول كان بيقول إن السودان بتسرق البترول حقتنا. أنت هسه قاعد في بيتي ده لو في حرامي أنا مش زي ما شايفين في شبابيك مش مركز عليها وركز على الباب ولا أحد بيتي، ونينا حركنا بيتنا في الوقت ده عشان قلنا نمنع السودان ما يشيل مننا.
اوكي، انت تقصد ناس منهم بانه الشباب بتاع الحركه المتحمسين؟
في شباب من القياده، كان في ناس في شباب طبعا في عارفهم قيادات متحمسين خالص. انا ما دار اخش في البناء في ذكر اسمائهم يكونوا معروفين يعني.
اوكي. هل
Okay, gonna get into this one. Very interesting. You know. So itu simitul kalamat ده. هل كان جوابات أزول ده يعني راضيا، يعني بدي كلام إيجابي، ولا ده بس؟ طبعا ده لسه في البداية لأنه هنحلله نقطة لأنه ليه، لكن ما هنكمله اليوم. هنعمل 3 يمكن 4 أسئلة منه. يلا أنا بنحلل الأسئلة ده على أساس الجوابات أزول ده. طبعا نتكلم هنا عن الموضوع بتاع قال شنو. قال يا أخي طبعا سؤال بتاع الصحافي ده قال شنو حصل للرؤية بتاع الحركة الشعبية في نواحي الاقتصاد. طبعا هو زول بتاع اقتصاد، هو قام مدى مبررات كتير، وبدأ بقال إنه كان الناس ديل يعني الظاهر نيجلكت أو هم زاحوا من اسم شنو ده، بيقولوا شنو، زاحوا من الرؤية بتاع الحركة الشعبية وقت اللي هم بقى في الحكومة في وقت بتاع الإدارة، يعني عندهم بقى المركز وكده. وكان في طبعا قروض قد يجي من دول، كنت فهمت من كلامه قروض قد يجي، عشان كده جاء يتكلم عن الشباب قال متحمسين. وزول جاء سأله قال من هم الشباب، ولف ودور قال يا كده ناس قاعدين في القيادة ما معروف لياتوا، ناس مجهولي الهوية، يعني ده ناس they are just unknown. like as unknown قال من تعمل موجود في جوبا ده is the same thing unknown. So and then they talk about the oil. طبعا oil ياهو the whole thing اللي قاعد يجيب economy تاع البلد ده يعني كان بيقدر فعلا كان في ناس صحيح if there was true genuine and people كان عندهم سي جدارة وكفاءة like هم عندهم that qualification they would have actually been able to أو كانوا بطريقة تانية بيقدروا كانوا يوصلوا يقدر ينقذوا البلد ده اقتصاديا. والبلد ده فعلا ما عنده بنى تحتية من بداية الحرب بتاع كم 80 وبالعكس كم 80 ده زاد الطين بلة يعني البلد انتهت لكن ستيل كان في ناحية من إدارة يعني إدارات موجودة بكيانه وكان يوم محافظات لما عمر بشير جزادوا لكم ولايات 10 ولايات وده براو مفترض الجنوبيين يراجعوا نفسهم عشان كده انك استوائيين لازم ما نقبل ب10 ولايات. وانا بتمنى من الناس اللي قاعدين يقولوا هم في الصومة يرفضوا كلام 10 ولايات يرفضوا كلامنا نهائيا يرجعوا ل3 أقاليم ده افضل شيء عشان نمشي لقدام للطريقة الافضل. لكن 10 ولايات ده كانوا مبشرين بمخططات انا ما ادري نقول فار لكن طبعا انا بدي هنا تفسير بسيط. مخططات تاعو كان لان وقت الحرب اللي كانوا قاعد يحارب فوقه مع حركة الشعبية ولاحظ دور بتاع الجنوبيين وين قديم مراكز وبتلقاهم بيفرتكوا يعني هو حول تعرف لما تديم مراكز حكومية لجنوبين أو قادة السياسيين بتاعهم داير يكون في مركز السلطة كان ادته وظيفة وتوالي تلقاه بقى شنو بيكون مبسوط حتى لو زول ما عنده أي كواليفيكيشن. فهو قام حوله بقى في طريقة شنو من خلال تحليل لو حولوا للولايات دل وقسم الولايات ده عشان يقدر يضاعف قوة بتاع الجنوبيين لأنه وقت ده فعلا الجنوبيين كان في نوع من التكاتف على أساس إننا قاعد نحارب العدو الأساسي. لكن للأسف هم تروشوا الناس زي فعلا يعني كان رياك مشى ذات واحد من الشخصيات اللي كان بيدخل جوا وبرا في كتير يعني حتى ديل شخصية يعني أنت بتعرف المسلسلات مسلسلات دخول جوا وطلع برا ده ما جديد في عهد بتاع الناس هسه كلهم قالوا حركة الشعبية بكره بيطلعوا برا مشي شمال السودان كده. لما جو وقت 2005 ويلا ادوم كل يعني مستندات بتاع whatever they need to take and then the oil was already been given. imagine ده ذاته في غلط هنا كان جينا في ناحية فكري دستوري قانوني ذاته يادو مسابة عشان الناس يقدر يكون عندهم القوة الكاملة عشان يقدر هم ما في زول انتخبهم nobody chose them. ما يقول لنا قال عمر بشير طبعا في دعاية يعني أنا think this guy will say it later في خطاب تاعه في الفيديو ده في نص الفيديو وبقول يا أخي سلفاكير ده كان نائب الأول وهو يعني منتخب من السودان. listen أولا سلفاكير وعمر بشير هم كلهم ما شرعيين. عمر بشير بنفسه دخل في السودان بانقلاب هو ما دخل شرعي. مين يعني كان سألنا من ياو ريلي الرئيس المنتخب في السودان بالحقيقة من وقت استقلال تاع السودان لوقتنا الحالي يعني انت بتيجي تلقى ممكن 1 أو 2 أو 3 I can't tell the history of Sudan بكامله لكن انا بقدر اقول انه ما في لانه ما سمينا غير ممكن عبود ناس عبود ده جا كبون برا ومنو تاني في شخصيات ديل انقلاب بعدين كان صار
انقلاب عبود جاب انقلاب
اوكي سو عبود جاب انقلاب معناته ده بعدين قال في سوساوي كان
اتكبر في 64
مش في سوساوي كان يعدو باور ده كان يكون رئيس اللي جاك ابو قال 24 hour president
ده سريسيو ايرو
اوكي سريسيو ايرو اوكي ياهو لانه كانوا يا الرئيس كان يلا باشك ابو المهم يعني ليبوا في الجنوبين ليبوا فوقنا كتير اوكي وفي نفس الوقت excuse me hold on give me ice please اوكي so ياهو في الناحيه ده ده الحاجات اللي هسه حاصله يعني
اكثر واحد انتخب واحد اسمه سر الخاتم الخليفه وصادق المهدي
صادق المهدي كانوا زولتا الله يرحمه المهم كل يرحمه وفاته بس نرجع للموضوع سوري
فور كان وراه كله عشان كده كان بينجح في انتخابات دائما
ثانك يو فعندنا نرجع عشان نديكم تحلل الموضوع ده بوضوح براحتك I don't know if حداثة نبدأ أو إنت تبدأ any one of you لكن عاوز أقول شنو في الموضوع ده كله اتذكروا قال شنو قال يا أخي طبعا السؤال هو من صحافي ده قال شنو حصل لرؤية الحركة الشعبية نحو الاقتصاد وحاجات يعني وده يسأل سؤال ده فهو أدى جوابات كده يعني ما راضي. انا صراحه ما مقتنع بكلاماته ده. فهو نادى انه قال يا اخي يلا قام كمان يتذكر قال شنو؟ قال بوقت ده كان يعني الريفينيو بتاع الاويل ده كان حوالي يعني $500 million
That's
a
right.
year, right? And then every month is 500 million, $500 مليون. فلا من بدا من كم؟ من 19
شهريا.
قال شهريا. قال من يوم 9/7/2011 انتهت لحد يوم 31 12 2011. I think ده وقت بعد الاستقلال، صح اذا انا ما غلطان. ده
صح.
الاستقلال ذاته. لانه ليه في وقت ده يعني يلا كمان قال شنو الشباب ده؟ قال يا اخي بقى عندهم يعني الروح بتاع التكبر كده. قال يا اخي ما خلاص هنا بنقفل الحاجه ده. وده بكون شكله بتاع هجديك ده اكزاكتلي، لانه كان وقت ده في حساسيات كلام هجديك. فهم قاموا ديكلير شنو؟ ديكلير اوتوماتيكلي انه قال ما محتاجين. قال لنا كان قفلنا البترول ده لانه حجتهم قال قاعدين يسرقوا مننا بترول. يلا عندهم القروش الكافي ال 500 مليون اللي قاعدين يصرفوه شهريا ده قفلوها على حجه انه شمال السودان قاعد يسرقهم. يلا هم قال نعتمد للاجانب. يتخيل العقليه ده. وقال طبعا هو كمان وبرا حاله قال انا ما منهم، انا ما كنت في نايدا. قال يعني يتخيل المنظر انه قاعد يقودونا هؤلاء الناس. يعني دي الشخصيات this is the characters who are leading us into this uh, what I call it the abyss or the conundrum of itself. Because why are you guys coming to us to like now to come and tell us these lies and you're trying to tell like يا اخي الرؤيه. حتى ذاته كلامت عن الرؤيه هو ما قدر يجاوب، لانه هو ده قال الرؤيه كمان. ايوه في كلامت عن نقل القريه مدينه الى القريه ده. كلام ده ذاته فلسفه بتاعه ذاته بيضحك. اوكي نقل المدينه الى القريه تعبيريا ذاته وفكريا ذاته انا لسه ما بيدخل في راس. لانه حتى يوم ده كم عملوا حركه ده كان دايرين يقولوا واو وين مشي قتلوا الطلبه ديل you know. So انت بتسال ناس ديل نقل القريه لليف ده قاعدين شنو exactly. انا سالت واحد منهم وانا بتمنى هم يدوا جواب ده بوضوح. لحد هسه they cannot. كل زول عنده تعبير تاع برا. قال يا قرن كان قال كده وكده. انا ما داير قرن قال، انا داير انت تفهم من مفهومك، من مفهوميتك انت from your own knowledge what that mean. Because this is the question اللي خلى هسه كله بيجي ده دخلوا في جوجوبا. Now نقلوا القريه كله جابوه في مدينه. بيكون ده معنى بتاعه نقل المدينه للقريه، لكن طلعت القريه للمدينه. يعني اليوم لاقين ناس دخلوا بكميه هائل عشان يجي يحتلوا اراضي تاع ناس تانيين. You know, so this is what we are crying for.
طبعا اعاده تخطيط القريه.
ما المشكله هم ذاتوا لحد هسه
يقروا اراضي الناس وبعدين ياخذوا كذا.
وفي نفس الوقت هو اتكلم عن $500 مليون شهريا. وانا متذكر في وقت ذاك في الاعلام الاجنبي وهناك قاعدين يقولوا ما عندهم ماهيه للمواطنين الموظفين. هم كان بيتكلموا ما في ماهيه. انا متذكر يا بدايه الشكل بتعمل the internal conflict within the South Sudan start لانه already في corrupt elements playing with the money at the way. عشان كده الخواجات لما جا قالوا انتوا قاعدين تشتروا بيوت في يوغندا، كينيا، كونغو، مش كونغو، كينيا، اثيوبيا، السودان، يوروب. في تاني بيجوا بكاش. لما انا بعرف واحد انا شفته like I don't know, I didn't see what he put, but the house that he got, the house is expensive. ده قروش تاع شنو؟ في قال ده قروش تاع بلد، يعني قروش تاع حكومه. كانوا زي ناس تاع حكومه مفترض بيصرفوا في عمال بيعملوا فوق منشآت. ناس مش يصرفوا بس بيوت رفاهيه. You know, they're making their life lavish. So when you see this kind of characters, it proves to you one thing about these people: they are really a corrupt criminal entity within its roots. So it's a rotten regime from its core. So what's going on here? مفترض هسه everyone have to be very careful. هم اليوم بيجوا بدين يبروا حالهم، لكن هل اعترافاتهم ده بديهم نتيجة ولا لا؟ وما بيهمنا. كان هم بيقدر يطلعوا بحاجة، كانوا بيقدر يلعبوا دور تاع السياسيين صحيح. خليه يورونا شطارتهم واحنا كمواطنين ونوريهم حقيقتنا وين، لأننا ما نخليهم عشان يجي يلعبوا في راسنا. خلاص enough is enough. We had enough from them. So أنا بديكم المنبر لكم تقدر تاخد نقاط اللي انت شفته في كلام ده، لأنه هذا جواباته. كان في حاجات شفت أنا missed. You can add and analyze on it and debate on it. تفضل. Thank you.
أنا I would like to urge, if we can run this tape, it's still, just only the economic parts, it didn't yet finish.
No, ما هسه زول اللي جاي
I don't know
بسؤال
if you can
تاني.
run it, because it didn't yet finish. كلام بتاعه انتهى منه.
اوكي وجاب
لكن
سؤال
الشاف الشريف بيكون فاهم الموضوع.
اوكي
because
I don't want
if you don't it doesn't matter كمان it's alright.
انا قلت الان عايزين ندخل في كل نقطه بتاع اللي قاعد يتكلم فوق السؤال اللي سالوه وهو جاوب كيف what is really about because احنا عايزين نركز عشان في حاجات كاننا missed. So these guys are talking all these stuff but في نقاط لازم تركز عليها.
Okay.
فتفضل انت كان داير انا برجع للشريط
let's see.
if you want if Hadassah agree to I'm okay with that. You just can come up with
no I don't want that. No I don't no let's go for it. Yeah, let's just answer. Let's go analyze it.
Thank you. Go ahead. Yes.
Should we start? It's okay. Well كلام الراجل طبعا الكلام طبعا في نوعية تحور طبعا ما كل زول بيبرئ ذمة بتاعه. عارف كيف؟
That's true.
الواحد لو سأل نفسه if someone was to ask himself أنا ما أعرف الدكتور ده أخذ كم من الحصة ده لحد يوم الليلة، هل عنده ملف في ستريس ولا باب؟ المهم في الأمر إنه طبعا هي كلها لفة ودوران، في النهاية كل زول عاوز يبرر الموقف بتاعه. لكن لو جينا للوقائع عشان نستجوب شخصية زي دي بيحتاج طبعا لناس مختصين ذاته في ذات المجال الاقتصادي. عارف كيف؟ عشان يقدروا يعرفوا المغزى بتاع الحديث بتاعه ده هل هو واقع ولا لا. المهم طبعا من ناحية أنا ما بعرف بالنسبة للصحفي هل هو مش المراجع بتاعت الأسفلي في المجال الاقتصادي ده ولا ما في، ده موضوع آخر طبعا ما بيهمنا. لكن في المقام الأول أنا بقول إنه شنو يعني لو تلاحظ النازل في بداية المطاف طريقة زي ما قلت إنه طريقة بتاعهم the way how they hijack the government is of course that's an illegal government. الحكومة غير legal من طبعه، لأنه if كان أخذ الطابع legal if it were to take the legal channels probably they would have achieved something. But it's unfortunate, of course, the way how they come to the government, how they hijack the government. It was last time نازل قالوا انه هنقعد يعني في بدايه المطاف لما دخلوا في حوار من قالوا ناس اسفل قالوا انه اوكي هنقعد، قلنا لهم انه كيف انتوا زول جاي من غابه هو اللي بيجي بيشيل الحكومه how can you come from يعني مثلا it's a rebel, how comes that you just come and take the government and then start leading the people. وفي ناس already كانوا موجودين قال لا we will be there just اننا بناكل 6 سنة كاننا اكلنا but they will get out of the way. نديكم حقكم انتوا الشعب ده. That was their language. It is unfortunate لما انت تشوف الوضع بتاعهم الليله الحديثه اللي هم قاعدين يقولوها ده it is totally wrong. So of course زي ما انا قلت لك كان there were many rebel factions. كان في حركات متعدده كثيره، لكن حركات دي كله جا هيمن عليهم منه SPLA. هيمن عليه SPLA. الدور مهمه بتاعت انه يكون representative بتاع الناس كله. Then all of a sudden he took over. That was the conflict هنا. That is one of the points that lead to the mess. That means they went and took over. بالنسبه للشعب ومن ما شاركوا الشعب في السلطه خالص، رفضوا انه يشاركوا الشعب في السلطه. اي زول شال سلاح يعود هو او عنده حق. He is the only one who has right عشان يلعب اي لعبه. وده المشكله اللي هسه دخلنا في ورطه دي. بعدين كان الناس اللي كانوا معاهم في سلاح رفقاء السلاح اللي كانوا معاهم حتى ما قدروا ينتبهوا انه الخطر بتاع الكلام ده. يعني ما قدروا يعني ممكن هم جلسوا قعدوا كمجلس ثوره as rebels هم قعدوا ولا ما قعدوا. That's what I don't know. What they an open forum هم قعدوا فوقه to discuss all these things. لأنه what I know في السودان كان دائما وابدا لما الناس الانقلاب لما يجوا بياخذوا السلطه هم بيكون عندهم حاجه اسمه مجلس الثوره. مجلس الثوره. Alright, okay, revolutionary council. A revolutionary council that would have been a rebel council. Revolutionary council will have sit down. هم بيختار they will have to select specific individuals. They will call under circle. هم بيكون دي شنو مرجعيه. In case of any conflicts, they will go to those people and counsel them. They will counsel them, they will go to them and refer to them all the time. At this particular time, you can see SPLA will hijack Nigeria. It has become, and instead of SPLA being a national movement, it's become a tribal movement kind of leadership. دي مشكله اللي جاي دخل الناس في مشكله. فالدينكا قام هيمنوا الوضع ده، هيمنوا على الكلام ده، يعني they hijacked everything. they says even اللي هو شنو leaderships اللي من قاعد يخطوا ده بقى دينكا هو مسؤول عنه، عنده مجلس بتاع دينكا وعنده هو القياده الليدرشيب بتاع دينكا هو بيقود الكلام ده. so طبعا نوير هنا و opponent و very tough opponent، عشان كده sometimes they will just bring him in a while، لكن most of the tactics وهجد الكل البلان وهجد الكل دينكا هو قاعد يعمل. so that's one of the critical situations. لما نزل دخلوا في الموضوع بتاعت الثلاثه النقاط الاولى اللي رسل الراجل لما جاوبوا، لما سالوا الاخ الصحفي ده، لما سالوا انه دور بتاع شخصيه رسلوا انتوا مثلا انتوا هناك دوركم كان شنو، المجال الاقتصادي، البرنامج الاقتصادي بتاعكم ده وصل للمرحله دي كيف؟ هنا لما هو حللوا هنا هو قاعد يحللوا من وين؟ من جانب بتاع دينكا، نظره بتاع دينكا، وليس نظره بتاع شنو الثوره بتاعت اللي هو شنو اس في ال as a rebel movement اللي هو representative بتاعت more many factions. No, he was just going to discuss this issue within النطاق القبلي. طبعا عندهم اساسا عندهم طموح، لانه دينكا لما من جاء انتهزوا فرصه من جاء نادوا نازل تنين ده قال يا اخوانا تعالوا شاكلوا معنا ده. they tried in the first place when they were trying to lead the movement themselves as Dinka, but they failed later. لقوا نازل كله ضدهم. so هم used the other guys, put them on board، عارف كيف؟ and then they kept on driving. يلا at the end of the day هم عاوزين يكونوا هم leadership. That's the wrong concept هنا. That's what lead to all these crap points. Now مع الخطوات اللي قالوا انه الخطوه الاولى انه نقل مثلا الخطوه الاولى اللي هم قالوا يقولوا انه شنو الخطوات اللي خطوا ثلاثه ده الثري objectives اللي خطاوا انه what is the role of اللي هو الاس بي ال اي كويس من الحركه الشعبيه كويس البرنامج اللي خطاوا، وقال عندهم كان نمره واحد انه ماذا حصل مثلا الرد كويس الاقتصادي الحركه الشعبيه زي ما قال الراجل ده، وقال انه الحركه الشعبيه مثلا كان في نفاشه. طبعا لما تحرك في نفاشه ومواقف بتاعهم ده كان الغرض منه طبعا التنميه وبالتالي نقل المدن العاصمه. نمبر ثلاثه انه تحريك الوضع على اساس انه تحويل الزراعه الاعتماد على الزراعه كوسيله اكثر من شنو من حاجه اسمه شنو
يعني من الصناعه من حتى ذاته حاجات
الرؤيه بتاعه كده، دي الرؤيه بتاعه
رؤيتهم يعني رؤيه الفلاحين ما رؤيه ناس.
لا الهدف يعني بتاعه انه شنو
تمكين البلد الى دوله اقتصاديه قويه.
هدفه انه شنو انه يعملوا استثمار زراعي عارف كيف، ويخلوا بترول فيما بعد يستخدموا البترول كانجن كمحرك بالنسبه للبتاع الاقتصاد الوضع الاقتصادي. بمعنى اخر قروش البترول ده بيجيب فوقه تراكات مثلا، يجيبوا فوق آليات كبيره جدا جدا ويعملوا زراعه، وده بيحرك الزراعه، وبالتالي شنو يكونوا هم معتمدين على الزراعه من الصادرات وكذا تكون اكثر منه. ده النظره بتاعه. اما بالنسبه لنقل المدن القرى ده من نقل المدينه الى القريه، الهدف منه طبعا تنميه القريه اللي هو يعني النمو بدل ان يكون النمو المتوازن. what Equatoria have said, what we have Equatoria have brought in 1972 as an equal development. عارف كيف؟ يعني ما عاوز يقول انه شنو يعني زي في امريكا على سبيل المثال بتلقى انه في city you know you have more many counties states وكده، بيكون لما تمشي في state لما تمشي في قريه this you could get no different between them. بتلقى انه شنو there is equal developments. اوكي كانت عاوز ماكدونالد هنا في عاصمه انت بتلقاه، في سيتي انت بتلقاه، كانت مشيت في rural areas where you can get some cities out there انت كمان بتلقى ماكدونالدز in equal manner. So that was the idea. لكن of course misinterpretation بقى مشكله. So هنا التركيز بتاعهم طبعا دينكا لازم يكون عنده حاجات دي، يعني it has to be دينكا. that is why هم مشوا يعودوا مثلا محلات زي واو جت على victim، يعني areas like واو مشوا هناك مشوا ضربوا اطفال ليه؟ لما اطفال اللي شاف انه بقى شنو هم يعملوا demarcation. they had wanted to establish a new demarcation. يعني دينكا لازم يكون في كل مكان. that was the idea انه دينكا لازم يكون في كل مكان so that from there هم بيبقى شنو the equal developments اللي هو شنو نقل
على اساس
القريه
انه
للمدينه.
يكون اصحاب النفوس. يس.
ايوه. لما لقوا انه كثيرين من الناس دي كله عباره عن نان دينكا، so هم they get upset. So what they had to use is they have to use gun as a means of how to get off there عشان يعمل demarcation للمحلات ديل ويلقوا محلات. So that's one of the serious things that cause to the failure. Definitely حاجات دي كله بيفعل لانه that is not the way how you have to work out. So لكن لو كانوا هم مشوا وقعدوا كله نادوا ناس اللي كانوا شاكلوا معهم اللي هو اللي بيقول كانوا ناس اللي بيقولوا انه شنو عاوزين اللي هو شنو اسمه الانفصال، اللي هو مش الانفصال اقصد
لا مركزيه
no.
الكبرى ولا ده قاصد
لا
وين؟
الناس اللي كانوا اللي هو for the independence of South Sudan.
الانفصاليين بتاع السودان.
انفصال ايوه انفصال جنوب
الجنوبيين.
السودان. مش
الانفصاليين
طبعا
الجنوبيين.
جماعه ديل كانوا بيدانوا بشنو؟ بتحرير السودان. في ناس
نعم.
كانوا قاعد يقولوا تحرير جنوب السودان.
انفصال الجنوب من الشمال.
أيوة. وفي حركات بتاعت كذا وكذا. لو كانوا من منازل كلهم زي ما انا قلت لك قبل شويه ومن خطام في بوتقه واحده وعملوا المجلس الثوره they would have succeeded. That means all people have to share, anyone will have his word down there, down the road. This wouldn't have create a conflict at all. كان ممكن يصلح الطريق، لكن للاسف الشديد طبعا يعني دينكا زي ما جو كمان بعد فتره من زمن بقوا يعملوا شنو؟ began they embrace themselves انه
ما
proud
قاطع
لانه
في حاجه قلت
انه دينكا انه عاوزين نكونوا شنو؟ we are mighty وما بعرف عاوزين نكونوا هنا we are the leaders and we will lead you for 100 years. All these things lead to the failure, total failure. ناهيك انه في 500 half millions كان بيدوك له مثلا عشان تعمل المشاريع دي half millions لما يدوك له في سنه من قال من بيقول هولد on it، لكن من ما هولد لانه شنو؟ بلشوا يسرقوا. بعدين في وقت بتاع بشير هل كلامك ده الناس كان ما قاعد يسرقوا في وقت ده ما كان قاعد يسرقوا قروش، لكن شنو طبعا كان من كله قاعد يديهم بشنو؟ بدريب. كان قروش محدود. So there is no chance. من كله كان بيديك شويه بس ميزانيه بتاعت اقاليم بتاع جنوب السودان ده بيدوك هناك يلا كان جماعه دي شالوا ما بينفعهم ولا بيزيدوا. لكن لما جو دوم نص قروش man that was huge money. So then they began to pretend انه okay قروش خلاص انا بمشي بيها وكده. we'll have to push on with it. we'll be better off. هركم لك في البترول ده عشان نوري جماعه دي من حراميه. ترى الحرام الكبير منو؟ يعني تلقى انه الحرام الكبير المجموعه بتاع شنو؟ القيادات بتاع دينكا وسلاطين بتاعهم والمجموعات بتاعهم بقى يشيلوا قروش. سمينا كان في زمان كنا قاعد نسمع يوميا يمكن اي واحد منهم كان قاعد يسمع قالوا قروش بيشيلوا بشوالات في البيوت هناك يطلعوه ويوزعوا لاهلهم هناك وناس المرتبات بتاعت الناس هنا تعبانين. فلحد اللحظه ده هو الخطوه اللي هسي ناس ماشيين فوقه لحد يوم الليله. يبقى عنه شنو؟ حل القضيه عشان نوصل لحلول الوقايه دي دي حاجه اللي ودخل الناس في ورطه كبير جدا جدا لحد يوم الليله. ولحد يوم الليله ما داري يتوب. يعني الدنكاوي لسه ما داري يتوب انه قاعد يعمل غلط. المفروض يباك اب من الاخطاء ده. عارف كيف؟ يعني they went on بقى قاعد يوز دول بديكري عمل ديكري كذا وكذا. That is all nonsense. This decree will not work under 64 tribes. انت ما ممكن. You can't overcome all these people. انت ما ممكن تمشيهم because these people will fight one day. If not tomorrow, yes yesterday, they will fight. So that's the conflict. فهنا زول ده هسه من كلام بتاعه انه هو كان هناك موجود طبعا لما سالوه انه كان في شباب اولاد هناك الشباب اللي قاعد يقولوا ده وجا قال انه يا اخي في ناس هناك ما يذكر اسمائهم. He knows who they are. They're the same elements who are now in the government. هم يا الله اسمهم قاعد ليت الرجيم ده. They're the ones. So هنا direction بتاعهم already هم they are in wrong directions. لأنه شنو segregations و all this now they are creating they have created ياودهم قاعد push on to the separation. That's why separation is must. It is they who are put هم يو put the pens هم يو كتبوا الكلام ده. They're the one who write this. You know, so let's not ما تقول لنا separatism. There's no term that you can even bring it to describe our situation. We have been forced to this issue. You know, this is a forceful separation. That means يعني واحد يقول لك أنا شنو أنت ما عندك حق بالوجود. You don't have any right. You know, to leave. أنا بالليد أنت أنا بعمله. No, it doesn't work that way. أن كلنا حاربنا معاه. What do you think of that? لو جينا لو كان في محكمة فعلا لو في judgment, you know, it is clear. It is very simple and clear. جانا صغير ممكن يوضح الكلام ده انه يا اخي انت غلطان يا اخي. back up. خلي الناس ادي الحكومه السلطه للشعب. فالشعب ما ممكن في الوقت الراهن في ناس مثلا مجموعات كبيره او زي ناس الاخ حكيم ومجموعات اللي كانوا حاربوا وسووا ده. We will not discredit انهم they didn't do anything. We respect their right. هم كانوا شاكلوا. Yes, they fight side by side. لكن حاجه اللي انا قاعد استغرب هسه هنا، هل ناس حكيم المجموعات اللي كانوا شاكلوا ده كله ما بيقدر يمشي يقابلوا كير ده؟ يعني مثلا انا كنت في الجيش، انا كنت معاك في الجيش وانت اللواء بتاعي. Can I go and correct you guys? Not as an individual, I'm talking as a group. Collective group بتاع الناس اللي كانوا حاربوا زمان دي يمشي يقابل زول ده يقول له يا اسمع انت ماشي غلط. وعمليه ده ما كويس، ما عنده جرأة يعمل الكلام ده. ما قدر هم سرفايف الموت في غابه. كان they survive موت في وقت العادي هسي ممكن يقابل زول يقول له يجيك اسمع الكلام ده كله غلط. لما كنا شغالنا في غابه هناك ده ما شكلنا دينكا، ما قلنا نشاكل كدينكا. We were fighting as what? As revolutionaries, people who wanted to liberate ourselves. Now you was for Sudan. انت كنت قاعد تقول انه I wanted to liberate Sudan. So why are you now so fully concentrating on جنوب Sudan? Why don't you continue your way onward عشان تمشي تحارب السودان؟ Since انه في ناس ما تخلي بلده لناس اللي كان زمان قاعد يقولوا شنو انا ما تحارب جنوب. Why don't you leave it to them and then continue your journey? So نازل يعني هسي المشكله بتاعت الحل بتاع القضيه دي، حل القضيه الهسي عشان ازاحه هذه السلطه بيتوقف على منو؟ بيجي على عاتق بتاع شنو؟ على رقبته بتاع منو؟ رقبه بتاعت كل انسان كان شاكل في اس بي ال وكان ما دينكاوي. عارف كيف؟ كان ما دينكاوي لعلمك، بل من ال 66 اللي هو 64 tribes other 62 tribe or 62 let's say. لانه نوير ذاته عنده نفس المنهج بتاع دينكا، منهجيه نوير. ما نوير نفس يعني نوير ذاته كان ما قادر يصحي، صاروخ كان هناك في سلطه دي ما قادر يوري الجماعه دي انه يا اخوانا لا قبليه دي ما كويس. No, he was on it. So هنا نازل يو بيحلوا مشكله، لانه كقائد عام انا كعسكري ساكت، انا عسكري بدون رتبه ذاته، انا ذات بس private only. I can be able to see مع high official. انا بزول الكبير انا ممكن اقابله وانا اتكلم معه as an individual or group. It's unfortunate نازل ما قدروا. كل زول هسه قاعد يخاف انا كان بشيل زول بكراسي. No, انا هربت هيك، انا كان شاكلته. We did fight. I will not go alone. We will go as a group. نمشي لزول نواجهه نقول اسمع هي بلد ده ساعدنا جينا عملنا ما كان قبيله. We were fighting as people not قبيله. So you need to step aside. They can say it. They can say it. هم بيقولوا سيادته هاي انزل خلاص اخذ معاش يا اخي. Your age. How old are you? Now if you look to your age, الage بتاعت اللي هو شنو retirement age في جاب ساوث السودان هو شنو؟ كم؟ Let us suppose بنعرف الايج بتاعه 60 او كذا، خلاص you should retire. Give the rest, give the chance to the others. هنا للاسف those people هسه من قاعد lingering، من قاعد لينك، من قاعد يجروا داخلين معانا ويلا قاعد يعمل لوبت ويلا وحده وما وحده في الوقت اللي انت ما قادر تقابل الاكبر قائد بتاعك كان كنتوا في غابه سوا. So what a shameful point is that. So I will end up here. Thank you.
اوكي، في حاجه واحده نذكر انت قلته مهم جدا، هو السؤال اللي بيسأل نفسه حيكون خارج من الموضوع شويه عن الموضوع بتاع جرن وكان ضد الانفصاليين الجنوبيين وقت السودان الواحد. هل تقدر تديني تفسير فوق؟ لانه انا ما اعرف
في لانه شنو اوريك انا
ما قال شنو بتاعه في حاجه انا داير نقوله، لكن انا داير نشوف كده بتقول شنو.
يلا انا بجي جميل. انت عارف جرن لما كان في الوقت ده طبعا رغم انه كان هو قاعد انسيست he was insisting انه اي زول لازم يقول يؤمن بانه شنو تحرير السودان. اوكي despite all this كان في جنوبيين whether they are silent few didn't speak out. There are some of them who spoke out. But when it comes to the end لما امريكا جت تدخل بتاع امريكا everybody rise up. All people have rise up. All these oppositions rise up automatically. الناس اللي كان كله ضده ده كان كله قام فوق. على سبيل المثال كلامن واني you know he was of course كان هو side to government. all of a sudden لما وجا صاروا shift لجماعة ده هو already in the position بتاعه. He was for the South Sudan. عندك أنيانيا حركة نيانيا 1 حتى ناس نوير لسه قدامك ده among them inside them في ناس اللي كانوا بيدعوا لتحرير جنوب السودان. They were there already. So there were numerous of them. نازل كله لما الأمريكان جو at the end of the day من كله they rise up. They limit them to almost I say 5 extreme parties, very strong ones. يعني كانوا من حوالي 5 قيادات قوية باقيين ده كبوس هاي. هذه القيادات كان كل واحد عنده ميول بتاعه تعرف كيف؟ So that's what I can answer you. Yeah.
Okay.
كان قبلي ولكن لأنه قرن I know even though he managed to kill some others and silence some others and مثلا destruct انتهي من باقيين ده تعرف كيف؟ لكن هو eliminate others yet خلايا تنازع موجودين ومبادئ بتاعهم موجودة as a army within SPLA. And SPLA wasn't alone in the fight. من كان كله جوا هنا. Leave alone Equatoria. When Equatoria went on to call them لما كان قاعد يقتلون بكثرة في شمال السودان ومحلات ديل مجموعات Equatoria هناك ده وانيجا ما بيتكلم ساكت وانيجا ما تعرف communications مع الناس اللي كانت Equatoria then لقيتهم قال لهم okay come on in. So they were thinking of course انه ديل اخوان we wanted to reach our goal which is of course the independent. لكن طبعا by guns they wouldn't do it. But other than that ربنا رتب الامور جاب third party جاء وعمل mediation. So that's when all people come up. Yeah.
Thank you.
So these things was existing كان موجود لكن طبعا في واحد كان قاعد يشتغل underground. You don't have to tell Garang انه انا for separation of South Sudan. انت قلت كده Garang جاي بيك راسك برا. وانه طبعا الشباب بتاعه ده قالوا يقولوا شباب بتاع Garang يعني those are Red Army ومجموعه دي جت طلعوا ده. Those were the ones elements من كانوا بيرسلوا لك عشان target you guys. Thank you.
شكرا. قبل ما اقول بس في حاجه انا ممكن اوضحه هنا في كلام تاع Garang ده كمان. ما زي انت قبل اتكلمت في حاجه مهمه انت قاعد تقول زول لنا من قاعد يجاوب بمنظوره بتاع دينكا بقبيله بتاعه as Jin Council or whatever you want to call them because this is the game. يعني let's be clear هنا في ناس ما دارين يعترفوا بالحقيقه لانهم خايفين قال ده اهانه لكن الاهانه الاسوأ ياتو لما واحد بيجي بيخليك تكون عبد بتاعه ولا انت بتقول له حقيقه في وشه يقول اسمع هي انا شايفك انت زول ما عندك كرامه لنفسك ولا عندك كلمه يعني انت ما زول شريف في المعنى. This situation لسه our people are going through وبالأخص في استوائية أراضي بينهبوا وناس بينهبوا ده وري إنه كلام أنت قبلك فسرته في موضوع بتاع ناس زي اللي عملوا في بحر الغزال يتوزعوا هناك لما قدروا يلعبوا الدور في سيطرة أراضي بقى يفكروا يعملوا نفس الحركة ده في استوائية. هم في على النيل هناك هم عايشين صراع لكن كانوا قدروا يسيطروا جزء كبير في استوائية هم بيكون عندهم القوة الكافية بيقدروا ينتصروا في كل جنوب السودان. وفي نفس الوقت كمان بيرجع لموضوع بتاع زول Garang يعني سياسة ضد الجنوبيين أنا قاعد أشوفه كان ده بس كان أنت ما كان متأكد وكان بيكون ضدك في كلام تاع انفصال ده.
That is true.
لكن لا أنت كان لاحظت حتى الناس اللي كانوا مشاهدين في انفصال كان نوير واستوائيين لأنه كان أنت لاحظت كان في نوير كثيرين هم أصلا ذاته زي في كان قال في حزب كده عنيتو ولا منومش اللي هو نظف نازل. So بمعنى تاني these guys already they don't trust the Arabs, the Arab remnants I call بقايا العرب. So they wanted to be alone وهم متمسكين بالقضية ده. لكن جو Garang جاي هناك وشاف إنه ديل بيكونوا منافسين أفضل يسكت ناس يلا بعدين لما نيجي يكون في الترابيزة ويا بيكون السيد وفعلا نجح في خطته نجح لما جا لقى فرصة بتاعه في 2005 هو قدر يلعب دور كبير جاب أهله وأهله يتمكزوا. هسه اليوم السيادة بتاع الناس ده السيادة بتاع الناس اللي قاعدين في جوا حركة الناس اللي قاعدين جوا الإدارة بتاع جنوب السودان ده يعني ناس كله من تحت لفوق من غفير لرئيس كله ده البيجيز على أسباب شنو هم يتمكنوا حتى لما Garang مات ليه ده السؤال اللي بيسأل نفسه كانوا مسيئي راس إنه ناس ما عندهم نوايا قبلية ليه هم رجعوا يجيبوا واحد تاني دين كان يجي ريبريزنت معلومه جابوا واحد حتى لو ما استوى يجيبوا من نوير يجيبوا من هنا مكان رياض ما شاء يجيبوا ما يقول لنا قال لانه ده تركيبه الحركه الشعبيه ده او هام ساكت انتوا جايين تقودوا الدوله انتوا ما حركه شعبيه يعني انتوا هناك جايين تكونوا ممثلين للشعب مش ممثلين الحركه الشعبيه. لكن للاسف الناس دي ترجموا حاجات ده بمشي بغلط على مصلحتهم. طبعا لقوا الشعب كمان دقسه كده دقسه معلمين زي ما بيقولوا والدقسه كان دمرنا نهائي لما ناس today Equatoria is paying the price. Every suffering tribes getting suffer. So هسه احنا بنعمل شنو؟ هو الطريقة الأفضل كل زول يشوف مكانه ويرجع لأصله. بعد كده نقدر نتكلم عن حاجة اسمه وحدة، لكن الوحدة مع الوضع عندنا فوقه وفي المستقبل it is impossible to be in the future because the way how these behavior. بعدين الشخصيات السخيفة هسه بيجي بيكتب، كان واحد هنا قاعد يكتب كلمات فارغ، بس انا نقول له انا حتى بلوك him because انا ما جاي نتكلم مع ناس جهلة وزول بيسب. واحد اسمه دوناتو. Just to remind this guy, Donato there is just an ignorant man talking nonsense. I blocked him. I guess have to see he's ignorant. كان عنده حاجة يتكلم منطقي يتكلم، لكن زول بيتكلم بدون أخلاق بوري هو جاي من ياتو مستوى وياتو عائلة. ده ناس من بيقولوا ده ناس يعني ده ديال الشوارع بس تقول، لأنه أصلا ذات الاسم بتاع دوناتو ده ذاته ده ما اسم يعني. let's just talk about him. لكن شخصيات زي ده أنا بقول له يا عم فتش لك مكان تاع مجرمين تاع ناس تقعد معهم بيشتموا، أقعد معهم هناك عيش حياتك تعرفوا. بتخلينا إحنا هنا نتكلم في قضية كبيرة أكبر منك وأكبر من اللي جابوك ذاته بدون مؤاخذة. إحنا هنا هدفنا استوائية. we fight for our people. ما عجبك that's your own problem. لو أنت challenge come and challenge with a respect and points. this is my point. yeah لكن يا قرن عندي مخططات هو اصلا مخطط خبري. yes
نقطة بسيط بس
yeah
حاجة أنا عاوز أشرحه للجمهور عشان يشوفوا في العالم ده. I don't know whether I have to put it in English or Arabic. I mean,
أي لغة ده
yeah,
I mean
what I'm saying is that أنا شنو عشان why do we call for separation for instance؟ لأنه if you look to the unity those Dinka leaderships or tribal leaderships that or government, they will not of course admit it. They will not allow it since they have rejected this federal system. All right, even the three regions kind of systems that was being implemented, those people will say no to it. You understand? Remember that very well. Unity, Alman Gadugulu da, Nasal Gadugulu unity da, please understand it very well. Unity under BG's leaderships, this is not going to be a unity. This is going to be a disaster as well. لأنه priority بتاعت Dinka, when they look to themselves better than any other tribes. تعرف كيف؟ Of course, number one, ما بيعرفوا أصلهم ولا فصلهم. You understand؟ من ما بيعرفوا أصلهم ولا فصلهم يعني واحد زي ما بقول عنده شنو ما بيعرفوا جاي من وين. Though he knows it, لكن أول lose بيت بتاعه لما هو lose area بتاعه خلاص هو جاء في محل تاني وعاوز يدومينيت. So هنا نازل عنده مبادئ ده، هذه المبادئ ما بخليهم يتنازلوا. عارف كيف؟ فإحنا لذلك كلمة انفصال لما نقول انفصال دي فرضت نفسها. فالمسألة كالآتي بالنسبة للناس اللي قاعد يدريم ده، كان كل زول مشى لحاله، يعني كل زول يمشي لبيته. ما حاجة ده حصل في 1972. كل زول بيمشي لبيت بتاعه وبعدين بنرتاح. لكن الدنكاي ما شد حيله. لما نميري جاء عمل 3 أقاليم، قال يا اخوانا كل زول يمشي يعمل تنميه متوازن. في حاجه في زول بيكون عيب في الكلام ده؟ ما في اي عيب في الكلام ده، ما في اي غبار فوقه. بعدين مساله ولايات وما ولايات، وفعلا زي ما قلت انه الكلام ده تقسيم، الهدف منه تقسيم بتاعنا. بشير عاوز يقسمنا لانه كله هم بتاع خاصه الدنكا همهم لازم يكون بنك. كانوا ما سمع كلمه بنك ده ما مرتاح خالص. you need to be بنك في اي محل بقوه بشلوت، هو عاوز يكون بنك. so for that reason لما الدوم بعد يعني الواحد افتكرت انه الناس خلاص هيرتاحوا كل هيكونوا بنك في محلاتهم. لا هم ما دارين كلامنا، عاوزين نشوف لحاجه جاهز. so that is what is leading us to that point. فكلامنا لما نقول انه كل زول يمشي لحاله ده عشان نشوف انه الدنكاوي ده محله وين. سيد خليه يورينا محله وين وبالضبط محلته تو جاي وين ومحلته تو وين. بعدين لما كل زول يقعد في بيته عارف كيف، وكل زول عنده يكون عنده صوت واحد. لما نعم اي واحد في جنوب السودان يؤمن انه when everyone in South Sudan believe that he has one voice, could it be as a region, one voice as a region? When that time comes, يعودوا keep the PG. So this is now انفصال بتاعنا comes as a priority for Equatorians. When it comes to the level of the entire country, there is one thing. Those Dinka particularly عارف كيف مع شنو ده خلفاء بتاعهم الالي بتاعهم اللي هو نوير. They had to step aside to give the government the right of the government to the people بتاع جنوب السودان which comes from 3 states Upper Nile, Bahr al-Ghazal, Equatoria. Those people who may be formal government at that particular government, but then everyone will have his right say عارف كيف؟ كل زول بيكون عنده equal opportunity. And then we will be here considered as shareholders, similar partners في business ده ما private ما individual business. It is not become لأنه Dinka is now trying to privatize الgovernment البلد ده عشان يكونوا government بتاع one individuals which is one tribe. That is wrong. How two tribes, that is wrong.
That's true.
So عشان كده الانفصال احنا بنقول له. فانا بناشد لو الناس اللي جنبنا ده لو كل زول مثلا بحر الغزال ولا النيل وجماعه ده كل زول قام قال اسمع اخذ مبدا بتاع ديكتاتوريا ده خلاص انفصال نازل بيقعوا اليوم الثاني نازل بيقعوا بيكون عندهم اي ما في فرصه للزول كان كل زول مسك تيريتوري بتاعه يقول له اسمع كل زول يجي في التيريتوري بتاعه ساعتها الدينكا ما عنده خانه حاجتهم من ده كله بيقع يعني كلامك اللي من خطوط اللي هو 3 لوائح ده بتاعت انه شنو مثلا اللي هو نقل العاصمه المدينه وكذا وكذا ده حاجات ده كله انت جربه في نفسك ورجع امشي في ولايه بتاعك جربها في اقليم بتاعك هناك جربه هناك لما ينجح هناك and then use the others let it go to the others. True. Why don't you go into your house and do it in your house later how تعمل حاجه ده فوضى للناس هنين كله and then you put the others down. عسكريا ناس انيانيا those rebel groups they are supposed to be disarmed. ما كل rebel ده من جيش. Remember that very well. في ناس قتلوا ناس. في ناس مثلا ما qualified. They shouldn't be there في army. في ناس كذا وكذا وكذا وكذا. There are more many things. لكن ناس شنو؟ قالوا ناس كل يمشي كونتانم بدون تصفية. في حاجة اسمه تصفية. South Sudan has to know how many people, how many army do we need في South Sudan? What is the army that can keep South Sudan in peace مع الدول المجاورة ده عشان واحد ثاني ما يجي يشيل قراب أرض مننا مثلا ده يوغندا أو كينيا يجي يشيل مننا أرضه أو كذا. So when we agree upon that number, then we divide it by 3. That is how we can exist. لكن Jamadel, like I've said, they are pushing us to separations, and that is what we are now putting as a priority. لأنه you don't have to get my house. You don't have to come and sleep in my bed. No, nobody will accept that. When I say sleep in your bed, you know what I mean. For those who are living in South Sudan, you know what I mean.
Thank you.
So it is horrible. تعرف كيف؟ أنت لما تجيني في ضيفان أنا باخدك في بيت أنا بديك فيها أوضة عشان تنوم فوقه مش عاوز تيجي تاخد أي كورنر في محل تتعالى تقول أوه يا أخي يا لنا شنو فدرالية قال لنا كلنا واحد وأنت ما قاعد تطبق الفدرالية أنت أنت شوية ده النظام شوية هسه اللي قاعد يعملوا ده.
Yes, thank you.
ده النظام بتاع جوزيف بروسيتو بيحاول يلخبط ما بيعرف هو ماشي في اتجاه يقول انه انا ما اعرف فدراليه ما في فدراليه هنا كان جينا في جهه لانه في فدراليه في النظام الفدرالي الرئيس ما بيعين الجفرنس. It is wrong to appoint governors. مش governors كمان وصل لشنو ما كمان ليه فضيحه هيك كانوا يوم كانوا جا في امريكا وجا في امريكا they came to US. I don't know whether هم عندهم بوكلت بتاعت القانون بتاع امريكا ولا ما في الدستور ده. Thank you.
Yeah, timing. We don't want to. Yes, thank you so much. And also, timing. We have to be very much recognize the timing. وندي فرصة لحدث لأنه ما تكلم ذاته من بداية. It's wrong of us to stay talking. بس أنا سألتك عن simple question, but it's okay. You put it clear. I hope our people heard it.
No, actually, the elaboration is actually good. It's like bringing in very good understanding. Like, yeah, it's good what you guys have done.
Sorry. Go ahead. Thanks a lot.
No, that's actually good. I like it. Yeah.
Thank you. That's for your patience. because طبعا احنا عاوزين نتكلم عن مواضيع ده كل لكن شنو هنعمل زي ما قلنا مقطع. We will go into it and it's good because we have saved this video, so we will come back to it and look at it and then come up and analyze on it على أساس كلمات الناس دي لأنه ما تنسى الشخصيات دي هسه دي ينطوا من المركب بتاع الفشل بتاعهم وعاوزين يعملوا دعاية إنه هم ياهو the people who are innocent and they were trying and they have that heart because that's what بقى يسمعوا من الشعب. طبعا هم كانوا يستهتروا ناس بتاع social media أو ده ناس بس ده سياسيين بتاع social media. لكن it's not about politics of social media. What is about that? Today the world is evolved. يعني كانوا هم بيفهموا حضارة تطور. احنا تطورنا بمرحلة بقى كل شيء مسهل. اعلام بقى بيوصل في الكمبيوتر ذاته هسه في through social media. حتى اليوم هسه في كورونا ده في المرض بتاع الكوفيد 19 بقى رؤساء وسياسيين بقى مرات مقابلات بتتكلم معاهم through zoom هنا شنو بيقولوا I forgot broadcasting thing. انت بتعمل في زوم مغلق وفي زوم بتكون public, and that's what we know from facts that some people are doing that now. لانه هسه المرض ده ما بيخلي الناس يقدر يقرب جنب بعض, لكن نقدر الناس بيقدر يعملوا شغل تام. فانا بشكرك هداسة again for being patient and joining us also in this deep analysis on the point. وبنتمنى من اخواننا اللي بيسمعونا واللي شايفيننا قاعدين يشوفوا, if there's any possibility, share it to those equatorial places, equatorial forums. Especially our equatorial must be informed because we need them to have the knowledge of what's going on. بدل نحن يمشونا يمين وشمال بأوهام بتاع نجيف مع قائد ونجيف مع منو ونجيف مع منو ونجيف مع يتو أبونا مع يتو كنيسة, ما بدينا قدام. خلينا نجيب بحاجة اللي بدينا مصلحة بتاعنا, وهو we need Equatoria to understand مصلحتنا هو في يدينا. احنا يا بنحرك, احنا يا بنقدر نصنع, احنا بنصنع القادة واحنا بنحرك القادة. مش واحد يجي يدعي هو قائد. احنا الشعب, زي ما قلنا احنا صوت الشعب واحنا الشعب كلنا, الشعب الاستوائي. فانا بشكرك هداسة, and then you can elaborate from there from the نقاط اللي اتكلمنا عنها. And if you have anything you want to add, just go ahead, no problem also.
Okay. Yeah. It just for me, I will pick up on what this LOL, he's called LOL.
Yeah, Lual Deng, the
Yeah.
Galu academic, yeah.
Yeah. First of all, before I actually go even there, I just wanted to say that like in even something like CJ just said that they should have formed something to do with a council, much like a council. The SPLA, like when they came in, if they knew that they wanted to govern the country and they had really have a clear vision for the country, and they have suffered for years, like I don't know how many years they've been in the bush. You don't today nobody go and hunt and come out empty hand and throw all your foods or your hunt what you have hunted in your is it your prize or something, and throw it in the garbage. Is an example of what have they done now with the money that they acquire from South Sudan. Nothing. Their fruits and their zato هدف اللي هم فاتوا فوق في غابة ما شايفينه هسي. Nothing. It just come down to nothing really. Just like people say that the road to hell has been paved with good intention. Sometimes people say that.
Perfect.
Like you've been there, you like exhausted yourself in the bush and here and there, and then you come in here. Nobody could acknowledge really what you've done. All you did is just like greed, and instead of developing your own place, you went and developed other places, like the Western Wall, and goes all the way Central America or something like that, well, in South America, and all the way the Eastern countries in and the African countries, and bribing people. It's like nonsense kidali. It's like make no sense. They man as adults, not like a grown people. Like you see them grown people with gray hairs and but they make no sense really. Logic tomon, and the way that تصرفات tomon zato is like ما تصرفات ناس كده يعني كناس أبوهات كناس grandfathers, كناس even to be an exemplary, for example, an exemplary for the young people, for the youth of the young people. So I that really brings me to the misusement of the word youth. Now South Sudanese, the problem with South Sudanese that our big time failure is like we don't acknowledge ourselves when we reach a certain age that we are grown people. That's the problem here. We see ourselves, envision ourselves in our brain. We don't see the image of us in actually the fact that we have grown and the years that we have lived. Like I usually say, if you have spent 2 decades and a half, which is 25 years in this world, you already class, you should be a matured person, really. If you go into your 30s and then you haven't matured and you don't know the things that are required and how to behave and do things, that's really such a waste of space, really. Waste of a breath even to be on earth, if you can't even behave. So let alone you find, adults that set a goal, went out there, they set themselves out there in the bush, claiming that, they are fighting for people, which they brought the name of SPLA to zero. Nothing. There will never be a museum even for SPLA that people will glorify. We have wanted to see them as a walking museum, live museum. Let alone we create stuff that they've been out there and they, fighting and stuff, creating a museum and putting them in it and stuff like that. And actually give them a bit of glory and appreciate them. But then what have they done? It turned into Haraka Shaitania. The most evil people on earth I've never knew. If you first of all, this guy has been interviewed at home, I think, most because he tried on saying
Hijalaba.
yeah, and that really, it disgusts me even just that to see him in Hijalaba, and just reminding me the people who come from that suburb, Equatorial can guide in Hinak, especially the owners of the house that used to live there. It's really so disgusting, really. It always disgusts me when I see these people pride on like talking about living in Equatoria and saying, like Jalaba and Munu. It's really so sad, really. It's so sad. The thing is, they're so full to the extent that they don't even notice, they don't even notice. Like, it take that to pride yourself, you better Zoltan. You cannot. However, you glorify yourself to the highest point, but you still crumble to nothing. You still be seen as nothing because ita beta kita ma beneto. You have not stepped your foot to your house and you begin to talk from your own house. And then the other thing is, like, I thought if he is one of the what they call it, part of the regime over there, even the fact that even though Corona, I see here our ministers, they still get out there dressed up and get interview where the area where one would expect that this is where the the parliamentarians people or the leaders would do, but he's comfortably in his house trying to show us again, provoking us about our own land, our own suburb, Hajalaba. Fi bet fi da Jalaba taban is trying to pride on the beta Equatoria low guide for just provoking us. So coming down to he said something to do with like that the economy has fell into, I don't know how you will translate it into English, like fell into stomach or something like that. Would that be correct?
Finus al-kalam ya بقول قال وقع في بطن. This is الاقتصادي. Imagine, this is the most ridiculous.
قال economic وقع في بطن.
He mentioned something بداية حلقة لما سأله وقعد يبراك about حجلابة يلا قال والله شيء كويس كنا عاوزين مطر. ذاته كلام ما بيفوز. Like, I'm like, انت يا زول اصلا انا قاعد نسال يا جامعه وقاعد تدرس what university is he teaching.
مطر ما يجي حلو them.
المشكله انت شكلك نعس ذاته مطر اللي بيجي كده.
No, السؤال
that's the problem. The native of the land, that you deprive them, the native of the land, you abuse them, you subjected them into slavery, you mistreat them, you grab their land by force, and what are you doing? You're not even native of that place. Hell on them. Matar ma yinzil, Hell on them. Yeah. Matar ma yinzil kalis, I pray that God hear our cries day and night. Let the blood of people and the blood of Equatoria and the blood that they waste on earth never stop crying day and night.
Amen.
Upon them, upon their children, their generation, and the whole Jang tribe,
Amen.
because they have permitted this thing to happen and they are comfortably permitting this thing to happen. Let the blood of these people that are wasted in Equatoria never stop to cry out day and night before God,
Amen.
and let them continue to reap, the consequence of it. Who got a good economy failed? Yeah. Who got a good economy failed? Economy failed and the economy ده وقع في بطن منو لكن ده المشكلة هنا.
ما يعني في ناس سرقوا ما ده لغة بتاع حرامية. I think the code word حرامية ده. Say hey أنا عارف أنا ما بشتكيكم بس أجي ده وقع في بطن ما أكلتوه خلاص إحنا كلنا أكلنا. يا أجي ده وقع في بطن ده inflation yeah. So you gotta know these guys are funny though. It's hilarious. I didn't have that's why عشان كده قلنا شهادات في جنوب السودان يعملوا مراجعة. ده اللي يكون في revolution جديد. لازم يعمل revolution against all these PhD holders. لأن أجي ده بقى
شيء. ده في عرب بيقولوا شنو النعت تعرف كيف؟ النعت عبارة بتاعت النعت.
النعت
يعني ده صفة يعني مجهولة يعني أنت بتحاول you have to figure it out yourself.
Exactly.
So يعني النعت كيف؟
It's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. ناس ضد اللاجئين هو ذاته ما هو واحد من الناس الايكونومي ده واقع في بطنه يا دوي شايفين we can see him.
imagine بيدفع قروش عشان يقتلوا ناس تعرف كيف؟ This is expenditure. You're expending money. They money بتاع الدولة. You're using it to kill people. You know.
Yeah.
I mean,
giving it as a bribe. To survive or exist.
ما أنا قاعد عشان ندي فرصة لحداثة يتكلم بس في حاجة وكلم قبل بتاع $500 million ده every month. If you remember, they used to claim that ما في قروش كان يلا في كلام ده قال شباب بتاعنا ديل شباب قال شنو قال شبابنا.
They used to get half a billion a year and then 500,000 I don't know per cell.
But then I want to ask because أنا ما أعرف أنت في رأيك بتكون شبابنا لهم قاصدين جين كانسل؟ أنا مثلا ده نفس السؤال.
Yeah, that's the definition that I was coming up to say that
good.
The word of youth there to South Sudanese. Now, if you hear us talking South Sudanese, everybody's a youth. Everybody claims to be a youth. When he talk about youth, he's talking about them, the Gen Council. They're all youth. Lano, if you look at it, Nasmunia, Gadini Yamul Fasat, Nasmunia, Gadini, like looting the country is them. The country is under their authority. They're the one looting the country. They're the one taking the money out. Money laundry is done by them. الناس كان دفنوا قروش تحت. ناس كان دفنوا قروش في تحت أرض في تراب تحت لادي قروش قوم قافين ده. عشان تعرف سي الزول الجا من قبا زول جا من ما تعرف من دهر شنو ما فاهم قروش شنو ذاته في حياته. ما عارف قال لي قروش is just a paper. It's a tree, a paper. You put it down, it's gonna decay. they ما عارف يقولوا شنو أرض باكل. So they hide gurus in the ground. These are the people that and South Sudanese مفروض باسا دوجيسم تسمون قالي are these people having any vision for the country? They مفروض زي الناس بكون صباح توالي they're out.
Exactly.
They're out of of power because زول لما نشيل قروش يدوس تحت في تحت التراب. ناس بيقسم قروش هنا بشوالات. They're not meant to vision later. They're not actually they are attack. This is your enemy, number one enemy. These people I would say even these people to me sound like one of those people, like what they are in the book of what do you call it, the one that they talk about the, what do you call it, that the three horse, they come horsemen, one brings death,
Revelation,
or
I forgot that other one. In Roman Catholic we say a different name, but
yeah, one bring death, one bring illness, one bring
apocalypse.
One bring one host brings what do you call it? A lot of things, and these are the things that we are seeing with our own eyes. We South Sudan, and then we think it's really okay. We call these people leaders. When we actually begin to dismiss them, and then nas bigulu la 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 kida kida. These are the people and nas bigulu galo the leaders. Nas gurush biji fi belad gurush el kan mufrud to develop the country. And then they kind of divide the money into sacks and then begin to carry into, their own agendas and stuff like that. Yalla, finihaya, they come and do excuses that the Gen Council that you're seeing there. Some of them, decided to, evacuate the country. They're becoming opposition. You know what? I don't like what is happening. Well, you were part of it. You took some money with you. You've been reaping the money before. Yalla, bagin juzu minimal lisa hinak they want to jump off the ship,
I know.
Panic is thinking they want to jump off it and then started giving their statements such as like Shabab Khan, economic fell fi hinai fi hinai fi stomach and then like he said something like that, he used to speak of he usually speak the language of unity, he said. Remember when he talked about...
Yeah. Well, we're going to go into that, but you can elaborate, no problem, and then we're still going to talk. But go ahead. You have the right to say, go ahead. It's good that you give acknowledgement. Because I think a lot of people watched it, but some of them, they just watched it, but they did not get deep into the analysis on what these guys' message is behind the line. You got to read something behind the line. Don't always read to what they say, read behind the line. Is that message? Is because remember زي ما أنا قلنا هنا الكلام ده بس بعربي أنا قلنا سياسة الاعترافات ما الهدف منه في ظل الظروف التي تعيشها أجزاء أو شنو في شتى أنحاء الولايات الجنوبية. يعني أنا قاصد everyone in South Sudan of course are going through it, but Equatoria, of course, is the main objective because we are from Equatoria and we have to stand for Equatoria always. هل هذا يعني تغيير مسار حكومة جنوب السودان؟ أولا ذاته ده ما حكومة، نرجع لتصحيح في كلام ده ذاته. This is not a legitimate government, no they are government, they are just administrative power. ما في ناس بيقدر يقول يا أخي قنية ربنا مو متحدة، هنا زدنا ناقد كلام ده كمان. مو متحدة هو بيعترف، ما هو أصلا هو من الأجزاء تاع الحركات اللي شنو بيقولوا I don't want to go there، لكن هم من المؤسسات الاستعمارية بطريقة ثانية، لأنه ما تنسى نازل هم يا بيأسسوا هم يا بيدمروا. زي ما في كلام مالكم اكس said قال be aware of the people اللي بيكون لهم power يقدر make a villain a hero and a hero a villain. And that's something we need to be very careful. لأنه اليوم يعني أنت كان شايف الحركة الشعبية بكل جرائمه ده some nations are okay with it. I'm not saying the whole nation, some nations. And some other nations who are not making decision, they're sitting there waiting for the right time and the right person. لكن the right person right now are not there. خلينا نكون صريحين، ما في right person right now over there because most of these people they are always has something. لكن they can use them one of them to be. لكن دي بقى لعبة الشطارة، منو يا بكون أشطر في ناس ديل. عشان كده تلقى هسه اليوم حركات القاعدين يقولوا هم المعارضات هم بقى يلعبوا لعبة شنو؟ cutthroats. يا واحد منهم بقانا مم cutthroats مع بول مالونج. This guy عشان يلقى فرصة ولازم يدخل جوا. Hello brother Gore. So
Okay.
يعني أهداف أنا ندي فرصة ل sorry go ahead.
No, سؤال بس ها. إنتوا ما جاوبتوا لسؤال
ما هي.
the question that says إنه of course they give the war as an excuse. Remember that. The guy says it is because of the war, that's why when they discovered that North Sudan began to loot their gas, petrol and all that, they decide to think that because by then there was Kosti, I guess, a guy who was working there, and Equatorians who was working there, and then they were planning, they decide to say that okay, let's take the petrol arm, let's just close the petrol. When they close it, of course, when they close that the production of petrol, then later it came back as a backlash to them.
انت قاصد في جنوب السودان؟
ايوه.
Did he mean
ما هو
the
منسل الشباب.
It becomes a backlash, because they stopped it, and then they came to US, and then they were asking for money, of course.
Yeah.
Then US got no, you are on your own. It ended up petrol bitaw, since you have closed that thing, what are you expecting? Go back.
Okay.
They were ashamed, they feel shame. Then all of a sudden, في حرب وقعوا في حرب. So that's another disaster.
Okay.
By the time when they turned their cheek to the left, the war was there already. So the guy seems to be saying, I know, برنامج بتاعهم له البروgram, the 3 columns, 3 kind of programs scheduled them, and they were unable to impose it because of all this, also the war. So I don't know, what's your take on that? Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead, Hadassah. I think it's direct.
I didn't quite understand the question.
Can you brief the question to her so she can get it? And then...
the question is, of course, the gentleman, the guy, this he seems to be, of course, giving an excuse, because the question was directed to him about the economy. What's your vision, economic visions? What was the economic, what happens? What happened to the economic visions of US SPLA economic vision? So the guy, of course, went on to give that excuse. He says, the first thing he talked about their programs and what had happened to that programs, and that the programs got stopped suddenly because of 2 things. One of them is that they decide to close the gas suddenly, the oil, infrastructure suddenly, they just close it down, they shut it down. And then that was the reason. And then the second reason, he says, he went on indicating that it's the war, the 2 wars that took place, most probably the war.
that's the war.
Might have been a lot more like that. Yeah. You have Iqlij, and then you have the 2013.
Daka later. Yeah, okay, you're right.
Yeah, that's what he put it out. And then he says, حركات بقى حركة بتاعت شنو؟ حركات شباب بتاعت الحركة الشعبية دي. And then, of course, he went on to tell that Nazil Fina, the guy asked him whether if he can tell the names of those shabab. Then he went on saying that, I will not disclose it. You know who they are.
Okay, go ahead. I think that's what she was talking. Go ahead, Hadassah. And then from
Yeah,
there, we can give people to come in later.
yeah. So actually, basically, from understanding, you're trying to say that what was their vision for the economic, right?
Yeah, that's right. That was the question, the main question. Yeah.
Yeah, and
What happened? What happened? What happened
Yeah.
to the SPLA visions, economic vision? Of
Yeah.
course, it's failed. Now.
Yeah. It's because they don't like the thing here that very good that
Hold on, let me not confuse you guys. This is the thing about it. What's simple is this. This is the simple thing. The guy answered his question, but what we need to do here, احنا عاوزين ندقق في كلام ده. We want to analyze based on that answer. كلام بتاعه في كلام تاع شباب ديل وكلام بتاعه تاع قال excuse تاع منهم لأنه هو he don't want to come out and say the economic failure is us. وقال يا أخي كان في أسباب. There is a lot of reason أسباب يعني أسباب كتير. واحد منهم يعني من 2000 من بداية independent تاع جنوب السودان يلا قول 9 يعني شهر 9 يوم مش شهر 7 ولا I forgot 9/7 to 2011 and then 31st 12 December 2011 يعني في خلال الشهور ديل كان في دخلي جاي يعني يبني اقتصاد لكن جا وقف suddenly في ديسمبر يلا جاب مشكلة اللي بقى ما في مدينة يلا الناس الشباب ده that's what his code word which I interpreted that's the Jin Council لأنه Jin Council هسه قاعد يتأي إنهم بدوا بعد 2013 2012 حدث 2013 مش 2013 incident of the Nuer sorry the killing of the Nuer so then by that time طبعا the Jin Council claim إن هم بدوا بعد ما خلاص رياك مشى رجال برا then they came out وذات ما في سبب كأنت شفت الفيديوهات تام ده ما في سبب ذات بخليهم يكونوا promote themselves to be a Jin Council for what هم عملوا دعاية قالوا إصلاح كله حاجات just nonsense it's baseless يلا نرجع هنا لكلام تاع قروش ده وكلام تاع شباب ديل اوكي تاع شباب ديل انا my 100% I'll be like my gut feeling says those are the people انا ما سألوه هو ما داري يوضح هو خطاه مجهول it's like شباب ديل لانه قال يا اخي ناس ديل قال اننا بنمشي لامريكان الدول الدامة these people who gonna support us financially when we close this they can help us but it's wrong because at the end the Europeans they say no we cannot so هم قال لهم حتى قال بعدين جاهم deny يعني international community deny عشان يجي help them لأنه الأويل موجود هم دارين شنو تاني يشهدوا يعني نازل يعني ده بيقول لك هذا بوري كمان أبينا يعني ده دولة تا شحادين واقتصاديين تام ده أكبر شحادين ويوم ماشيين يشهد لك برا so look at the way how it is so funny thing كانوا يعملوا دخل تا كم $500 million في خلال الوقت ده every month قاعد يجي $500 imagine $500 million ده كان يعني كان قول كان عملوه قسموه ثلاثة أقاليم القديمة يعني تقول كان في ناس بيستفيدوا في ناس يعني
الخطة بتاعهم شنو
كان ممكن تقول الولايات ده كله يعني من كانوا ماشيين بالعواصم يعني كل عاصم بيلقى حصة بتاعه في جنوب السودان إن كان ملكال ولا إن كان جوبا ولا إن كان واو
what they mean by 5,000 100,000 ده
500 million
yeah 500 million okay يعني this money what they mean is that of course what they are saying that somebody is stealing our money at the meantime so let's freeze this
that's what exactly who جد
let's freeze it and work it out so that's what they were trying to jump out of it
هم عملوا الاكسكيوز through it to شمال شكل بتاعه شمال وهو رجع في شكل بتاعه مع شنو مع ناس شكل الداخل الجا قام ده يعني ده يقول قروش ده يتسرب في حاجات ديل
so he didn't tell us by the time the 500 I mean is it million or 1,000 million
yeah
so 500 million 500
millions he says monthly انت قاعد تسمعني وقاعد تصير monthly
بفرصه لحداثه كمان
قال monthly يعني supposedly monthly in a month's time قروش المفروض يكون في خزينه موجود مش كده even لما وقع الحرب ده even after the war this money was supposed to be there in the treasury it's unfortunate
John Locke is funny
shouldn't they be having banks shouldn't they be having banks like Bank of South Sudan
عندهم لكن ماشي
قاعد يشيلوا في بيوت في ولد ده
shouldn't they be having banks was that started like saying the shabab they'll kind of excited the shabab that's why I good it's like
10 banks
they'll call themselves shabab even though هم ما شباب
هذا-
فيها.
هذا-
هذه فرصة
Yes.
يعني imagine by the establishment of the country, the first after the independence, Kenya just he came in with 10 banks.
ما
You
ديل
wouldn't imagine-
الاقتصاديين ديل
You wouldn't have imagined. في بلد في العالم, I'm going to get independent, then all of a sudden, a neighboring country will come up and say, oh, I'm going to establish 10, I'm going to open 10 banks in your country. Who has the priority هنا?
ما
Is it
عشان كده
Kenyan, the foreign, ولا بلد أنا عندنا حق؟
خلينا نسمع السايد اوف حداثة.
South Sudan مفروض يكون عنده حق يكون عنده بنك تا South Sudan, South Sudan National Bank مفروض, and let alone بكون في a lot of small بقولوا private banks, like just
branches,
like
branches.
Yeah, like بكون the whole the big bank and then the small bank, like giving other people opportunities too, to have created opportunity to have banks and stuff like that, like what they have in the Western world here and in Europe and stuff. So to allow other people to come in, which is called, I don't know, enterprises or something like that. So yeah, small business.
I will not allow Kenya to come up with this bank. I will tell Kenya, please stop. Wait a minute. Let me first establish myself, and then later I will allow you to come in.
There's a reason why I was gonna say there's the reason why they allow Kenya to come in with these 5 banks, and plus other people will come in too, because they are too busy. They don't want to keep the money in South Sudan, because if Kenya come in, Kenya's paying them the right, so they want somebody that gives them money. They don't care. They're just selling their country out.
So
but the money that is coming in, because the money that is coming in South Sudan, they're busy taking the money outside to Kenya, to Uganda, buying properties over there, investing stuff over there. Yeah, so it will look like they're developing, they're doing development in the country. It will look like they're creating opportunities for bank, but these opportunities are not created by them. This opportunity was brought by Kenyans, but not forgetting that Kenyans are bringing these banks in. They're not going to employ South Sudanese. They're going to bring Kenyans to work in those banks. So it's kind of like creating, having a country. It's like almost the country turned into a united nation of countries. It's like it's just somebody come, a different country will come and acquire a land and operate their business in it, and bring their people to work in it, and South Sudan is busy taking money, doing money laundry, taking it outside. Money come in, money go out. Almost like the story of Michael Jackson. How that he's always almost getting sued, and money come in, money go out all the time.
That is true.
So it's like, but the South Sudan, then nobody's suing them. So it's like it's just money come in, and then they just kind of taking the money outside. They're having a mind of like a greedy mind. They don't have a mind of leaders, or mind of like that they want to build a country and stuff like that. They don't even have any idea. They can't even comprehend it, because Naze, Asasan, when in the dawn of the creation, when people were doing these things, or even when we were under North and stuff, they were not doing anything. They were not leading anything. They don't even know. They mind of Musulia, kado tabelet zere, kadola zere. Equatorians, we used to govern ourselves. We know how these things work, but these people have no experience. That's why they don't know how to do it. They treat this money for the country as their own money, their own properties, their own gain, their own profit. Profit. So that's why they take the money and take it outside the country. So they, instead of creating jobs in the country, instead of creating opportunities and development, so they allow the outsider to come in and create opportunity, but not for the country, but for themselves. But then the country, making the country to look like a functionable country, that there's a country, and look, we have a bank and stuff like that. But while the Junubin are perishing, really. This is really sad.
So that's because a recipe for failure, for economic failure.
Yeah, but I was sorry.
Go ahead. Continue. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that just if I wanted to just to say it quickly here, that if SPLA really have really ideas to develop this country, they would have when they came in, they would have ideas in place. They would have created a council, like what you say, a council that is made out of all the tribes of South Sudan, from A to Z, tribes of South Sudan. That's council right. That people that would advise them how the country should go. Therefore, it will create an opportunity for them to begin to able to express themselves how they had wanted they had wanted to govern this country, or the vision that they have for the country, the reasons that they've been in the bush fighting for this country. Okay, we've been out there, and now we come here, give us the opportunity to show you, to express ourselves, our love for you, our love for the nation, the love that we say that we've been out there sleeping in the mosquito, the rain beat us, the munu munu, we've been sure that munu munu pikanta can south. Yeah, this is what we came for. South Sudanese, this is your national bank. South Sudanese, this is your zoos. This is your munu. This is your schools. This is your staff. This is the development that we fought for. These are the roads that we fought for. These are the companies that we envision in our heads. This is the thing that we've been saying, that taking the city to the villages, not the villages to the city. This is what we came for. This is what we're doing. So they would have goals and plans in place. And people that would hold them accountable, and they will go like step by step, like checking their list. If you have a plan, you'll get things done. But if you don't have a plan in place, you don't get anything done. That's why the SPLA have never achieved anything. They came mainly just like Zainasal, Haramia, Nas Jani.
Greed,
yeah.
All right, let's get started. Yeah, sorry to say.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Do you have any final words? I can go to the next point. My bad.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
You got it?
So I was just gonna say that هم جا طبعا بس ناس جانين وناس ما عندهم برنامج وما عندهم برنامج ذاته للنهاية, So I don't see the reason why these people are there really. So yeah, I'll just leave it here. Thank you.
في حاجة بس قلت قبلك أنا لفت انتباهي. It got my attention is you said like Kenya and all these other countries investing in South Sudan. And if you remember the investment, الجيم تاع investment اللي يبقى بدري. عشان كده اليوم إذا كان شفت إيجاد في ناحية تاع سياسة تاع جنوب السودان, they will never support oppositions. They will never support improvement of this country. Like whom are always gonna be benefiting from the case. ناس قدر أشاو من بداية. The funny thing about this كله, الجروب اللي كانوا جوا الحركة الشعبية did not play their role. هسهم طلعوا نطوا برا زي فيران ماشيين يقدوا سفينة تانية قال عشان يجي يكونوا يدخلوا جوا جنوب السودان. وفي نفس الوقت كيف تكونوا في this game بتاع معارضة وانتوا كنتوا جزء منه, انتوا مفترض تلعبوا دوركم. You got the chance that time. هم كانوا بيقدر mobilize the people to go against this corrupt regime. هم كانوا بيكونوا the powerful people today. لكنهم failed to do that. Second time هم fail again. لما هم عرفوا corruption هم كانوا يلعبوا دور اللي بيقدر you put these people in trouble. لما الناس هم have to give up their power. لكن the third one هسه هم قاعدين يقولوا oppositions, and yet they have nothing in their mind. I mean, they have nothing to solve the issues اللي قاعد continue قاعد increase في بلد ده. So they failure the opposition compared to the regime. الرجيم هو failure من أساسه, من تكوينه من رئيسهم القائد بتاعهم اللي قاعدين يورشب قاعدين يصلوا له زي النبي بتاعهم لما دفنوه في جوبا كهانة الاستوائيين يقول أي we are your master. This man have created this regime for a purpose. نبدأ مع حركة الشعبية لنا من عملوا هم خطوا القيادة كله بيجيز بتاعهم. Second thing, هم made sure they empower their people by sending them to the west. شفت هسه lost boys there, game to lost boys there. People don't see how dangerous is this. They are now educating their people out, so هم يبغوا take over. ما هم أصلا plan بتاعهم في جين council بتاعهم الله قال يا أخوي come there and take over, take over this country from them. As today نجي نقول الاستوائية اللي قاعدين يقولوا احنا اللي نكونوا انفصالين. الانفصال عنده اسباب كثير, وانا بدي فرصه اللينك عشان نجي لاي زول ده يتكلم في انفصال ده, واحنا نخلي التوبيك بتاع للاسف بتاع الزول ده بتاع الوالده ده next episode نجي نكمل ناخذ 3 حلقات. يلا نجي ناخذه ونتكلم عنه, بس ناخذ يدور بعد كده كله كون write the question down, and then when we come in live here we're going to talk about it. But عندنا ندي موضوع مهم جدا هو في ناحية بتاع الألسة حس الخطر اللي قاعد يحدد الاستوائية. Today Equatorians خلينا نكون واقعين and ask ourselves, did we make assessment analysis on how many of our Equatorian youth today, and I'm saying youth, I'm not saying the youth are guys, and I got to say youth, the real young generation who's still coming up to take over the responsibility of leadership or the responsibility of becoming community members and leaders. شباب دل they are not able to get enough education. معظمهم قاعدين في مخيمات, معظمهم مشتتين, يا معظمهم قاعدين في الحرب ده ما قاعدين يلقوا تعليم كفاية أو تعليمهم ناقص, في تاني ما يلقوا تعليم نهائيا. This is Equatorian I'm talking about. Equatorians are there. لو قدرت تقول يا قدرت to compare other areas, you got to talk about assess your people. I'm talking about assessing our people of Equatoria. In country east, west, or central, all of them are in the same boat. المركب قد يغرق. Equatorian are in this situation because الوضع اللي لنا فوقه هسه هو قد يدي إشارة إنه كان إحنا قلنا في وحدة في لسه imbalance هيكون في inequality. هسه الدينكا قدروا يتمكنوا في دول أجنبية باسم تاع لوس بوي باسم تاع الحركة الشعبية. It shows you today these people if they get back, خليك من أبوهاتهم المجانين ديل المايندهم يعني تلقاه كان قال لك شنو إلا يقول لك إنه فوقه كان إنجليزي لازم يدخلوا فوقه إنه ده ديل هيفوتوا. لكن generation تام هيكون a threat to the next generation, a threat to the next generations اللي marginalized. إحنا marginalized generation right now. These people are being equipped generation of Dinkas. Let's be clear. They might hatred the Dinka. They hagiga. Because when we talk about this, let us ask the balance. As a Dinka, into more capability, حتى ذات identification to Genub Sudan is always identified by Dinka. Naman Huma claim the majority على أساس because Huma went out there. You know? So we are in danger as Equatorians in that matter. when احنا ما قادرين نمشي قدام لو إحنا قاعدين نتكلم وحده إحنا قاعدين put ourselves in a trap. نرجع تاني للشرق. يا أخي ثلاثة من شرق ده ترجع تاني جوا حالك في شرق. Right now come out of that شرق by saying I want my territory alone. So let's make decision عشان إحنا نقدر empower our people. We have to educate our people. We have to get our women and children الجايين ورانا واللي معانا يقدر يلقى enough education نقدر نحن نكون a people of self-reliance. I mean self-independent. يعني بيكون independent without depending on people. These guys عشان كده تلقاهم هم قاعدين يعملوا قاعدين يعملوا شنو؟ يعني في مخططات بتاعهم. Let's just analyze this. مخطط بتاعهم الأول اقتصاد دمر اقتصاد تاع البلد. Because right now I think this thing is deliberate. Let's be clear. It's deliberate. Deliberate in what way? Coming to انتوا بتقول لما تاكلوا في بطنكم قال يا حاجه ده وقف في بطن يلا تقول شباب ده قال لنا نمشي نقفل البترول ونعتمد للانترناشونال كوميونتي ده. international community قال no we're not your bank. انما يا your father you gotta take care of yourself and then the oil is there so you need to deal with it. So هم بيعملوا شنو؟ هم قاعدين use this money of oil but they're not returning it to the country. هم عملوا investment مع international countries اللي جنبهم ده يا كينيا يوغندا نازل يعني they even have accounts out there in those countries. They're saving this money وهم قاعدين do it on استثمار لناسهم ده. عشان كده تلقى هسه كل زول قاعد انت كان شفت هسه في بيقولوا ده شنو؟ صدمه حضاريه عنده بيجيز. لازم زول يكون دكتور عشان يقتنع هو قرا ده عنده بيجيز. بقى هسه ده كمان قاعد ينتشر في الجنوبين كله. احنا لازم يكون لنا PhD does not make you smarter than anyone else. PhD is just انت expert في some particular field of study. لكن ما معناته انت خلاص عملت نفسك انت بقى بتعرف سياسه. في تانيين ما دخلوا في سياسه بس كان لقى PhD قال خلاص ماشي اكون وزير على اساس انه PhD يا بقى ده الدبوره بتاعه يا بقى شغل جنرال which is shame. And these guys طبعا لسه في mentality تاع and trying to understand it like primitivity. هم لسه في primitivity mindset. لكن the worst victim of this all Equatorians. These guys Equatorians هسه أكتريتنا we are lost because إحنا هسه divided mentally not divided physically. Mentally إحنا ما قاعدين stand for what is dangerous against what the danger is. إحنا قاعدين نشوف some of us قاعدين نشوف danger they are friends or some of us who see the danger they have to stand straight and then what we need is to put our game right لأنه they are exactly what we're gonna go forward. لأنه هسه enemy he is empowering himself عشان كده حتى لو international خلينا نكون كمان we have to be very much also بقولوا شنو كلمة ده like I want to say it in English and I forgot it even in Arabic لكن أنا عارف المعنى. أنا قاصد خلينا نكونوا جاهزين like نكونوا realistic in a realistic way. حاسة كان international community لأنه هسه العالم قاعد watch because today this administration is coming. Once they remove this regime لأنه هسه في demand to remove this guy يا زول لك طلب هناك في DC عمل دعاية بتاعه هناك إنه هو كان في سجن عمل له اعتداءات whatever المهم الله يساعده. لكن the point is it's not about him. It's what comes from the program to the West. الناس اللي قاعدين هنا لأننا قاعدين في بلدهم ده. These people are coming with a strong force. لكن كأننا ما شدينا حنا ونجيب من أجل حقنا من أرض بتاعنا اللي قاعدين lose it now ومن generation الجاي دي ده. I'm telling you Equatoria حتى لو إننا بقينا one country still we were not right, especially when we still in this condition. I'm gonna how to get out of it by standing on 1 feet and say 2 feet and say only Equatoria must be given their complete rights. بمعنى نرجع لثلاثة region. Equatoria must be for Equatorian. Non-Equatoria must go back to the territory, and then we can go نجي نتحسب كأننا شنو equal. ما master and slave. Today إن في master and slave. أولا دينكا هسه هم ده نجي take over the political power ده. They didn't want to take the economy. They want to take the منشآت infrastructure تبع. So they are giving themselves empowerment. والقروش على اسهم قصوا ده قروش ده قاعدين invested on the people secretly. إحنا إيكاتوريين هنا أنت إلا تكون مؤرس أو تكون معارضات الما معروف ماشي وين. لأنه معارضات الحسة they're not sending us anywhere. They're just confusing the people by شنو we're fighting, we're doing this. هم they need to gather information or ideas from others. لكن to gather idea you also I need them to be humble. لأنه أكعب شيء أنت تكون معارض أنت تتكبروا. أنت كيف تقدر تحارب من أجل منو؟ يا امبارح لما كان أخونا ده قاعد يتكلم I understand his sentiment and some people they misinterpret it. Let's not
So
always
why wouldn't we answer the first question then we go to the next?
Okay, بس أنا قلت شايفين الخطورة هنا إنه إيكواتوريا هسه في حالة بتاع imbalance inequality. Once كان إحنا بقينا الدولة ولسه رجعونا في إطار تاع الدولة الواحد in this one nation, we will find ourselves losing big time. لأنه generation تاع إيكواتوريا هسه كنا عملنا statistic studies نلقى إنه generation تاع إيكواتوريا أكتريتهم ياو عندهم يعني education level تاعهم بقى down. Compared to 1970s 1980s لأنه ديل كتولون كله في حرب وبعدين تانيين خلاص ماتوا. طبعا دي جنريشن تاع كم تاع الستينات والسبعينات. هسه ناس تانيين يا ماتوا بأمراض يا تلقى في كثير كانوا متعلمين ماتوا بأمراض وفاتوا لكن ما خلوا شيء ولا هم قدروا يgain anything but عنده شهادات بس. Compared to the BGs ديل مشوا في يوروب وناسهم ده كمان made sure هم يعمل communication يكونكت مع الناس اللي برا ده وقدروا يلعبوا دور. لكن احنا هسه اللي برا هنا البسيطين اللي قاعدين يقولوا احنا ما عندنا باور ده. I just want to tell these guys اللي هم قاعدين يفكروا they still can put us in one united South Sudan. They are dreaming. لكن ده خلي إيكواتوريان you know what is stake. لأنه احنا البسيطين ده is still we want your voices, we want your hand to hand together as Equatorian, not as a tribe in Equatoria, not as a political party في Equatoria, as an Equatoria. لأنه احنا ماشيين with a strong force عشان stop الفيضان الجاي من هناك ده جاي destroy our future. and the future of Equatoria is in danger. خاصة لما إننا قاعدين نشوف حاجة ده وده نجوك وخلينا ما نخلي الناس المجانين ده اللي يقولوا كلامات فارغ على أساس إنه هم بيعرفوا what they talk about. They don't, because if they do that it will not be حرب ما بيطول. First of all حرب لازم ينتهي. لازم يجيبوا شكله في إيكواتوريا. أرادة إيكواتوريا ما لازم يرجعوا back. I don't care لو أنت اشتريت بيد القروش. You know. So إحنا ما يقول لنا اشتروا بقروش وكلام كده. لازم يكون في حاجة هنا شنو في قوانين وقواعد إننا بنبنيه. ما وصلت أنا بيجي يبني لنا قانون. هسه تخيل جنوب السودان وإيكواتوريا بالأخص قاعدين يحكموا بقانون تاع بيجيز في جوا أراضي تاع إيكواتوريا. هم عندهم على النيل هم قاعدين يحكوا بعضهم هم قاعدين يقتلوا بعضهم لكن they will govern us in their territory. So this is the point. So go ahead Hadassah and CJ. I think you want to say something. Hello.
Go ahead Hadassah.
So do you agree with me? Let me ask you this question. Do you agree with me that إحنا في خطر من خلال الوضع ده وهل في حل like أنت بتشوف الحل الأفضل هو زي ما إحنا قاعدين نقول انفصال؟
We all agree definitely.
Yeah. والخطر أنت قاعد تشوفه تاني في شنو زيادة كان أنا ما قلته تقول لي الخطر أنت قاعد تشوفه خطير جدا في الموضوع ده.
Well, طبعا the danger that we are facing now is something that is not hidden really. It's not a hidden danger. It's clearly like what you said now that they could not even govern themselves over there. Let alone the rule of law that they couldn't abide with it. They could not even comprehend what the law is. You know, thou shalt not kill. That is something that they could not even comprehend it. Law not killing. There's just something that is like water under the bridge. Yeah, Lahini, they want to come over here and actually they wanted to govern and wanted to rule. So the matter of the fact is that now they're like what you have elaborated earlier, saying that the money that they have hoarded and hidden, spending it on their kids, and it is true that you never know what is happening behind the scene. Like most of us like to sit and sleep. We want to put ourselves in a sleeping mood, and we don't want to know the truth. يلا كان زول قال لك التروث ده التروث ده ما دايره you know you don't want to hear. It's like almost somebody give block yes so لا 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 والله ذاته مشكلة جنوب السودان ده يعوز ده ويعوز ده but forgetting قال you know oh you're part of Equatoria oh you're ذاته أساس Equatoria you know. The truth is now the generation طبعا القال رسلوا برا هناك تا Red Army there they are coming back to take over. You know, and the young people, they're coming up to take over. And lastly, build and lands abu nas tomon kubar they were, you know, grabbing from people. Who do you think is going to live there? Who? They're going to die, of course. They're all bunch of old people. Like you see this man sitting there like an old lizard, you know. So they're all going to die. Their children are the one going to take over. And they're coming there. They have the rights to take over. They have all the money that their fathers have looted, you know, have hidden, you know, and gave them. And they're coming there very powerful. And, you know, somebody powerful with money and took your land, you're homeless and stuff like that. It explains the reason why they're displacing Equatorians. Is that it? Because they have their generations that they send out there to study, you know, to come back with full knowledge, you know, to take over, you know, South Sudan. And then especially, you know, when we look from our perspective as Equatorians, they're coming to take over our place and then, you know, drive us out. What a better way, you know, to take over somebody's home, chase them out. If you have to enter a strong man's house, you have to bound them. So they bound us with Asli Halindom there and then chasing us out. So get rid of us out of the house. That's what the scriptures say. In order to capture into a strong man's house, you have to bind him. And that's what they've done. They came in and bounded us and then they threw us out. We become homeless. I mean, في مغابر ومغابرات وبعدين around the countries, neighboring countries, refugees and stuff like that camp. That's all we know now.
Yes. وفي حاجة عجيب في القصة ده كله في ناس قابلين يعني في ناس راضين بإنه يشوفوا أخوانهم في دول هنا ده دول المهجر ده في مخيمات الظروف اللي هم قاعدين فوقه كان ده يوغندا وكينيا. remember recently قالوا في ريبورت قاعد يقول إنه كينيا قاعد يعمل بريشر كده الدعايات قالوا داير يقفل المخيمات ده. Like, are you serious? You're gonna shut this thing? Where these people gonna go? وبعدين كينيا ذاته responsible on the crimes ذاته بيقول له هو ذاته بيقول له شنو a complicit بمعنى هو ذاته عنده اشتراك في الجرائم اللي قاعد يحصل لانه هم مدافعين لحركه شعبيه غير شرعيه وبعدين في نفس الوقت حركه شعبيه اللي قاعد يلعب دور بتاع شنو استغلال وتدمير الدوله الجنوبيه لانه هو قاعد يلعب خاصه في استثمار تاع قروش الغير شرعي ده. It's Kenya is number one in that. ده حتى امريكان في ريبورت امريكان طلعوا عندنا له ورقه ده it says about what these guys are doing, the most dirtiest thing ever, all the crimes that هم عملوه في ناحيه بتاع money laundering and like ناس بول مولون واحد منهم ناس كله قاعدين they take their money there يلا هم بدوا لعيالهم المهم يعني they are benefiting economically هم قاعدين see the money goes there it's not coming to South Sudan so it will be held there يلا كان في حاله كده قال freeze it they will keep it there and they're the one who's putting it as their asset يعني حاجه ده بقى asset لهم compare لان احنا ما عندنا asset الا بس المينرالز الموجود والمينرال هسه كمان هم قاعدين يلعبوا بقى الدور يعني بقى في لعبات شديد خطر جدا وهسه إيكواتوريا بقى كمان حقل بتاع شنو بتاع استغلال في ناحيه بتاع التراب اللي هناك موجود ده كان شجر بتاع يا تمبر لين يشيلوه في ويست إيكواتوريا هسه عشان يلعبوا فوقه عندك ذهب بتاع منطقه ايست إيكواتوريا كمان قاعد يلعبوا فوقه عندك سنترال إيكواتوريا احنا كإيكواتوريان يعني خسارتنا كبير جدا وفادح compared to these guys who have never been able even to have a city إلا يمكن ملكال بس. These guys are just keeping themselves in the same thing وهم قاعدين يفكروا هم شطار مننا. Yes maybe هم طلعوا برا في ويست يعرفوا حبة إنجليزي حبة عربي لقطوه في خرطوم لكن still does not make them understand what real يعني بيقولوا civilization mean or civility. الحضارة ما عمارة ولا دولار في جيبك. حضارة ما حبة كلمتين لقيته زيك أنت قلت لقيت لك بديلة وين. No حضارة بيكون حاجة دي is rooted deep within you. Knowing what is wrong and right when you are representing things in a society. ديل ما بيعرفوا الكلام ده. عشان كده وصلوا الدولة إلى الفشل. لكن الدولة بنفس ذاته كان سألناه وكانت عملت استئصال منه أو عملت like it took it into like عمل زي كانت زي بيقولوا شنو try to dissect it. You will find even like they're not connected with the leaders who are leading it. لأن تلقى corruption is so rooted from these organizations الناس اللي claim هم ياو representing of the government and the country لدرجة الشعب ذاته ما عارف وين. عشان كده تلقى الشعب كل يوم complain and suffering. international community هسه قاعد يفيد جنوب السودان. Let's be with all the dollar في جيبهم, international community is feeding this country. وكان انت Equatorian watching this thing, you need to ask, why are they doing this for us? The simpler answer is they are doing this and يغيروا demographic change in the country so they can be the highest بيقولوا شنو الطبقات العليا, the first classes in the country, so we will be the needy ones because they are trying not just to be in their place, they want to overrun the whole territory. And like CJ mentioned, Makan territory upon Bahar al-Ghazal, we have seen it, and now Equatoria is becoming the number one target. لأنه بالمينو الموجود هناك ده والتهجير تاع مواطنين هم قاعدين help the countries اللي قاعدين يعملوا investment معاهم برا جيرانهم ده إيجاد ده, they are helping and keeping our people there. So هنا ما نتوقع oppositions can understand this لأن opposition هم لسه ذاته كان في أي حاجة تاع ورقة they are running there quick without even thinking. يعني هسه بول مالونج جوا هناك لقيت بول مالونج أصلا عنده مصلحة بتاعه, هو أصلا زول ذاته مفترض نحن ما نديه فرصة عشان يكون يطلع حر. لكن imagine the guys in Kenya, إذا زول ده مطلوب في الدولة international community, this guy can even have a house over there, his dollar is still funding these people over there, his rebel بتاعه whatever الناس معناته these guys are playing us. احنا كايكاتوريان كأننا قاعدين believe إنه نازل هم بيقدر يعملوا شنو بس ده صراع السياسة. ده ما سياسة, بس بقى أبعد من السياسة. يعني في مخططات أبعد من كده. عشان كده لما نقول ناس عندهم نوايا قبلية واضح, في ناس يقفلوا الكلام عينهم وأدانهم يقول لا انت كلنا اخوان, بس دي ناس سياسيين ده كان كبينا كتير بيطلع كل شيء كويس وحاجات. لكن really are you serious انت confident بالكلام ده؟ لانه time by time every day في اثباتات قاعد يظهر بنفسه انه ناس عندهم مخططات ضد Equatorians and it's coming dangerous لو Equatoria قاعد يقفل عينه كل يوم وأدانه, because time for us is not to be following people's زي الدنب. احنا يا lead ourselves to get there. لانه اليوم هسه Equatorian just need one thing, declaring every Equatorian rebel, every Equatorian leader, declaring احنا شنو we are fighting to defend our people. ما خوف من international community شنو, Palestinians are defending their people. كانت مشيت في الدولة every nation, أنا بقول فلسطين لأن ده example أنا بقدر كان حتى أقوله, حتى أكراد the Kurdish people في سوريا وعراق and even Turkey, they are fighting for their life, for their people. بتاع تركيا بتاع أكراد they cannot be successful لأنه هم ما عندهم something as a collateral. Remember هنا قاعدين live my capitalist world. Today who's ruling the world? الرأسماليين قاعدين يشوفوا capital. انت ما عندكم capital, والcapital is not just the people. Israel they use their mind. هم قدروا يعملوا influence في the West, عشان كده قدروا يلعبوا دور كبير في النهاية أدوم أرضهم. Beside هم قاعدين fight for their territory. لكن بتاعنا إحنا we have a lot of way to do. Equatorial عنده more chance to be a strong nation by itself than becoming part of South Sudan. لأنه South Sudan is only a crippling stick ولا شنو تقولوا اللي بيرجعنا تحت. That's why we're telling our Equatorian to wake up and smell the coffee like we said, because when this time coming القاعد يجي ده it's not going to be merciful. بعدين كمان يعني في حاجات ما نقدر نكتره, لكن we will talk about it later. بس أنا بخليه هنا. So أنا اديت للناس ديل اللي نيجوا هنا اديتهم لينك.
Hold it. انت ما جاوبت الاشياء هنا. You didn't give an answer.
In what?
You asked a question, you didn't answer. Probably you might have answered it.
Remind me. لا أنا okay. Well, I did not answer directly. أنا بس قلت في ملاحظات اللي لاحظتها.
He says Equatoria is in danger. No, then you ask.
ما يا أنا أديت ملاحظات that was just an
you know بالنسبة لإيكواتوريا أنا قاعد أشوف لو أنت أخذت وجهة النظر بتاعي, what I can see is that generally the general security.
ما في أمن.
Yeah, Equatoria's security-wise, we are in danger, total danger, which is the most serious. If we can guarantee the security out of Cape, Equatoria will come back, and everything will go back to its respective place. And also, you have the refugees. Having about 3 million refugees out of the country, that is a disaster itself. Now, as you can see, BGs says that they're playing the role that they are the majority. Of course, kicking the others out so that the country has to remain, and then they'll say, "No, the majority." because by then you will see Dinka in every corner of the state of the country. So that is what can be also a point. But then, of course, you have the land that you have certainly said, okay, clearly. But then the killing of the people, daily killing of the people, that is also a disaster. And then when it comes to education, yeah, you already elaborated, which is clearly correct. But then the civil rights of the people, that means the right, masalan, to hold the higher positions, fire office of higher positions, or any other mafia, senior positions, higher positions, all to the lower levels,
including economy.
That is also a threat, a total threat.
Economy.
And then when it comes to the, yes, definitely, you already talk about economy, but then al-alaqat, foreign relations,
controlling,
so, and all that, they're using money to bribe those people,
yep,
to even help them
to influence,
plan and all that, influence, all these are there. We have no access as Equatorians to that, so we're almost limited, so then when it comes to Atfal, Masala, if you look to the situation at the meantime, it will go to, of course, the, let's say, the recitations, not the, let's say, the recycling, if I can put it that way. Yeah, that means the successive generations, succession. That means generation to succeed the other. All right.
Yes, inheritance.
Yeah. If you look inheritance, that's
yeah,
exactly. If you look to that point of inheritance, you will get people like Bona Malwal. Yeah, it's already Kalas Jamadi already, they have already they have already prepared it.
they built the roots. Yeah,
if you can say, can Janata Bona Malwal, if he has been there now in the United Nations, he's working down there. If you could say, that was since 2016. The guy was already there. A guy, in the next generations. That's the next generations. Leave alone, there are more money down there, down the road. So Jamadil Hina, it makan of then when it comes to Sarawak, the natural resources, heritage, history. Now all these people are playing games on it. They're also playing. عندهم بروفيسورات رفضوا من هنا ده ومشى في now today is in DC. Now the guy is also Luka Monojo, Luka Biong, or you know about it? All those people are also playing games down there. So that is also a threat. So beside all these threats, including all these threats, still the Catholic unity. What unity are you talking about? So that is a disaster. But then, the only thing is that, of course, and also the force. If you come to general security, you have the military. Yesterday, they are imposing themselves as a national army, the country national as SDF. Some of us stupidly, used to admit that and why Yamada the army. Meanwhile, those are not army. And we have some people also who are saying, oh, that's the government. We shouldn't have given that title to the government. That's the government. That is a tribal government. One tribe or two tribes government. Could that be a government? That is not a government. Ma mumkin. Like why مثلا عندنا في US هنا KKK جاء أخذ take over US. Could you consider that a government? No. تعرف كيف? Terrorizing people, killing people, like this is a serious matter. Yes? But then in the Kandahar وحاجات دي, what are we supposed to do as Equatorians? Since we have been, let's say handcuffed by all those people, kind of regime. What are we supposed to do? We're supposed to stop all these resources of Jamaica and Falauda. This is the source of the power. Nazil power between the UN. Is it the petrol? No. The petrol is not any longer value in today's world as we're going with this corona and all that. So people like Almunga, the armed oppositions, NASA arms, those who are fighting for liberation of the country, they should concentrate on those areas. And no matter zoli shil ayya mawarid min Equatoria. Equatoria sons and children were supposed to stand firm, not to give any chance to those people. Not until under one condition. Anna kula na sawa fogu, or else no chance for anyone. Because the country is now, this country is a business entity now. This country you're talking about is a business entity. One guy wanted to run it. So the world is
قبيلة واحد ذاته مش one guy. قبيلة واحد that run it. خليه بيجي من one
الناس
guy.
قاعد look at it as a business. They business entity. عشان كده they don't care. Imagine a businessman. انت صاحب الland وفي زول تاني في business ده. Do you think the businessman will look to you? انت صاحب الارض وانت ما عندك اي voice. Then somebody in the office who's writing the papers. منو بينظر له؟ بينظر whom should he look to? The businessman will look to the guy who's releasing the papers, who's signing the papers. Is that right? So unless you work hard, unless you have a son, your son is an open-minded. He has to fight to overcome a little harakat at the business end. This guy who's pretending he's everything, he's the first and the last. No, he should kick them out. So we're in a serious situation, very, very serious. I think I tell him it is not today.
Yeah,
it has been ever since.
Yeah, it's very terrifying.
Yeah, it has been since 2015, if you like, if you want. Though it's beyond, but
2005 actually 2000 قول من 1983. let's نرجع لل لأنه المخططات كان هم عاوزين يبنوا ده كان قلت لك ما قاطعك عاوزين يبنوا وده نرحب ب welcome and those who wanted before sorry
so before. What are we talking about?
Yeah,
this is زول قاعد يشيل ده بترول تاع مش من قال ده بترول تاع بيوم تعبوا then دهب ما المفروض يطلع من إيكواتوريا. دهب ما يطلع من إيكواتوريا من أي لا خشب يطلع من إيكواتوريا ولا ذهب يطلع من إيكواتوريا. We have to die for it as Equatorian. لأنه this is ده القلب بتاعنا. كان حاجات دي كله أخلوه في business. People went on writing papers on it. Remember those people. القوي في محكمة هو البنجة صح؟
الشاطر قال زي ما قال العدالة لا يحمل أغبياء.
شطارة هنا ما في.
عندنا هنا أنكل ماما can explain that. طبعا ده من أهم ده من واحد من نصوص القانون. So yeah, thank you.
قالوا القانون لا يحمل
المغفلين ولا الجهلة.
المغفلين صح الجاهل. فهنا شنو؟ يعني إيكواتوريا هسه بس تكونغو في حاجة كده عندك ذهب كبير في جوبيت أبوتك كده كويس؟ يلا نازل كله جو تجينهم في ذهب ده بس يشيلوا ذهب تجيره موتا أو تهوجي مع الذهب ده. عارف كيف؟ وأنت خد فوق أي حاجة تاني قوم ولا أنت قاعد فوق. أنت قال لي إما ذهب أنا يتفوق. كده أنت بتوقف قلب الناس. ناس بعدين زي ده قال أسمع خلاص جيب ما تضرب زول ده خلاص. كده نشوف أنه زي صاحب الذهب ده كده نتكلم ما وريه. هم بيوقف زي اللي بعدين تكون دخل.
ما قاطع السعودية مثل كبير. السعودية كده مش الأوروبيين. كان أي مكان عملوا حاجة السعودية ما مرتاح السعودية بيقطع بنزين منهم.
أنا ممكن نعمل مساومة نطلع برا نعمل مساومة مع أي زول تاني نجيبوا التلا دينهم هنا نازل على كريم اللي يطلع من هنا.
لكن كمان ما نقاطعك في حاجة مهم لازم إحنا كمان نفهم إن ما عاوزين لعبة بتاع آيو ليبو لأنه آيو كمان ده واحد عشان كده نذكر الإيكواتوريان. آيو من أكبر مجرمين اللي استفاد في إيكواتوريا وكده إيكواتوريا دخل معهم في شكل بتاع القبلي المادينكا ونوير ده. آيو استخدم استوائيين ذاته على حسب الملصقين زي دبان ولا بيقولوا شنو ملصقين زي حاجة ده بيقولوا ليتش ده في جوا آيو نازل كان قاعد لما في evidence يا جماعة في evidence
أيوة صح
evidence of آيو قاعد used commanders الإيكواتوريين اللي داخلين مع آيو إنهم sell their timber or their whatever resources in the ground يدوا ليوغندا and Kenya. while IGAD قاعد يقول أنا كان أوقع. This is one thing I want our Equatorian to understand. while IGAD قاعد يقول let's go like بنادي ناس زي opposition يقعد يوقعوا. these people under the ground they are making business. They are selling out our land. عشان كده كان ما قاعد stand up as people then who's gonna stand for us. زي ما قال القانون ما بيحمي غبي ما بيحمي جاهل. أنت لازم تكون smart. you have to do whatever it takes to stop them. لأن ما عاوزين تجارة بتاع شنو بتاع حاجات المينرالز تاعنا ولا إحنا قاعدين نسفر. because لو في حاجه ده لازم بعدين ده اراضي القبائل. عشان كده قلنا نقول إيكواتوريا must separate because اراضي القبائل ده دي حاجات sacred. هسه في امريكا هنا نيتيف امريكا ما بتقدر تعمل حاجه بدون ما يكون اراده بتام. اراضي القبائل ده لازم يكون في احترام. القبائل ده بدون كل الاحترام اي قبيله بيكون equal and then the land must be respected على اساس ده اراضي الناس ده حدودهم ده بيته. في نفس الوقت حتى الاستثمار بيكون على قرار بيجي جماعي وبعدين بيجي كمان شنو انا ما بقول جماعي، لانه كان قلنا جماعي كمان ناس بترجم في سياسيين ناس مش يشيلوا بيعملوها ترجمه كده. نو زي ما قال الارض للجميع، نو الارض ما للجميع، الارض للقبائل اولا ولا للحكومه ولا للجميع. شفتها؟ فthis is why
زي ما قلت احنا لازم نفكر
لا
بسرعه
انا
جدا، تعرف كيف
انا بس
بتبقى
قاعد اقول
اتيكا. We need to
مستر
think real
عبدو
quick. كده
ويلكم مان
فاني
ويلكم.
Equatorial need to think real quick
نعم
قبل فوات الاوان. تعرف
exactly
كيف؟
exactly
كان
and this
ديش
is
في حقك، تعرف كيف كان هسه كده فرضنا انه ادينا ارض ده لفلسطين، يلا نمدوا دهب فوق هنا او كل
فلسطين
اسرائيلي
يستفيد
فوق دهب هنا.
فلسطين بشكل لارضه.
Do you think easily من بيعمل حركات الدينكا ده بخلي الدينكا يلعب فينا؟
oh no 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 ده كان مقاومه من غلط.
مان الدينكا كان عارف محله جاي من وين. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And I want to
I'm
welcome
done.
I call Mr. and I give you a credit as uncle too. I'm good welcome Momo for joining us. طبعا عندك نقاط قانونية فهذا all it's great to see you again in the forum, and it's great to hear from your perspective من نظريتك. ولو عندك أي سؤال لنا كمان تطرحه لنا إحنا مستعدين نجاوبه. ولو في أي شيء تاني you want to I just want to remind our people first قبل ما أقول أي شيء عايز أقول everybody is welcome, they can come in, we put the link down there. خدتين لكم اللينك in the forum and you can actually you can participate. But remember احنا هنا ما عاوزين نسيب زول ولا عاوزين نتكلم كلامات ما عنده معنى. هنا قاعدين نتكلم كلام هنا تاع ناس grown up people. It doesn't matter how old how educated non-educated, just عندك حق انت كمواطن وانت بتعرف انت وين حقك مسلوب سرقوا منك. You have to stand up for yourself. And then for us Equatorian احنا كاستوائيين قاعدين نقف من اجل حقنا ومصلحتنا. احنا ما فاضيين نقف لمصلحة زول تاني في الناحية اللي هسه احنا يعني احتراما للباقيين اللي هم قاعدين الصفا، لكن لينا احنا في خطر، شايفين خطرنا وين، واحنا قاعدين نوجه الحقيقة ده للشعب عشان الشعب يعرف what to do. لانه ما يغشونا زي last time لما انفصلنا بدون ما احنا نعرف حقائقنا وحقوقنا وين. في النهاية لقينا احنا وقعنا في شرك. اليوم العدو قدر يستغلنا بالحركة الشعبية وطلع هو ترى مؤسسة قبلي ومؤسسة كمان انفرادي لدرجة هم رافضين الحقيقة، واستغلوا الشعب اليوم عشان اشتغلوا القادة بتاعنا عشان يجي يلعبوا دور في راسنا. يعني زي انا قلت ايو he was one of these elements اللي قدر يعني هسه كان الناس قالوا الدخل اللي ساعد ايو it was all the minerals of Equatoria. ما يقول لنا oil dam، هم كان حاولوا لكن طردوهم. سو لما هم جاء دخلوا مع إيكاتوريان ليه دور كبير بأوارب بتاعهم طلعوا الدنب وادوا حاجات دي ترو يوغندا، ويوغندا قاعد يقول لهم راح نوقع. عشان كده الجيم هنا واضح، يعني في لعبات سياسية خارجية ونفس الشيء في لعبات تاني بيقولوا شنو اللعبة بتاع شنو، يعني اللعبة بتاع القبلية الموجودة في الحركة الشعبية لسه هنا ده هم عاوزين يلعبوا دور كبير عشان يقدر eliminate the tribes الباقيين الصغار ويقدر يحتل أراضيهم. يعني شفت مادي هناك، شفت الجهة بتاع ناس مناطق في Central Equatoria West Equatoria, so they are doing their best. وهنا ده ننوم على شنو، على احنا واحد، احنا الجنوبيين وكده. خلينا ما نتكلم عن جنوب قبل ما نتكلم عن بيتنا. زي ما قال ما فيك تيجي تقول ده نحمي مرة صاحبي ومرتك هنا كان يغتصبوا. اجيب لمرتك اول، اجيب لحقك بعدين كده الناس بيحترموك انت راجل. لكن الرجوله ما بيكون تمشي تعمل نفسك انت واحد عشان الناس دايس. انا ما هنا ما جايين عشان زول لايك us. we're not here you like me or not, but we had to tell the truth and let the people wake up so they can fight for their right. لان الحق ده ايزي، واحنا ناس اللي في برا عندنا دور كبير اكبر من الناس اللي هناك. الناس اللي هناك ده they know what they can do when time is right. لكن احنا ده يا قوه الاساسي، احنا يا كل شيء هنا. once we tell them they will come up and they will do their revolution. اللي بنشوف بلد ده بيتغير في يوم واحد. Equatorial become a great nation. So this is what I want our Equatorian to understand. احنا هنا ما talking about people personally. احنا ما جينا هنا على انت منو ان شاء الله ذاتك انت بقيت اشتر زول في الدنيا. احنا ما فاضيين لشطارتك، لكن عاوزينك تكون عندك روح بتاع بلدك وتشوف مأساة اخوانك اللي هناك ده. فاتفضل مومو مستر مومو او مولانا مومو، از انا قاعد اسمع مولانات كتير في فيسبوك ده ايام ده. so انا بقول لك ويلكم، اتفضل unmute yourself. شكرا لك joining us. واي زول داير يتدخل بليز اتدخل، اديتكم اللينك and زي ما قلنا لكم شكرا. اتفضل.
صوتي واضح؟ قاعد تسمعني؟
نعم واضح.
اوكي. ما يعني ما مهم الالغاب
لا أنا عارف
لكن
لا I know you're very
أهم
humble.
يا
Yes.
أهم حاجة إنه شنو إحنا عايزين نصل لحل بتاع القضية بتاعنا.
Thank you.
أول حاجة بحييك أتيكا وبحاول دي جي كذلك بحيي حداثة في خلال الحديث اللي تو
ربك
بيدور
يسعدك.
فيه. شكرا 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 شكرا. آه أنا طرحت السؤال هناك بعد كل اللي بيدور في جنوب السودان في الوضع الراهن ما هو الحل؟ إحنا في الوقت الراهن إحنا بنفترض نتكلم عن الحلول، لأن الحديث عن الكوربشن ومشاكل دي كل شيء معروفة. زي ما المثل بيقول يعني إحنا ما عايزين يسمونا إنه الكلب ينبح والجمل يسير. ده عيب بالنسبة لنا. جنوب السودان ملك لثلاثة أقاليم، اللي هو إقليم الاستوائية، الكبرى، وإقليم بحر الغزال، وإقليم على النيل، ده ملكا للجميع. في حالة واحد من هذه الأقاليم عايز إنه تنفصل له الحق في الانفصال، لكن هذا الحق إنه من المفترض يعني بتمارسه بالطريقة الدبلوماسية حتى إنه ترضي الرأي العام وترضي المجتمع الدولي. أي حديث إنه ما بيمارس بالحكمة وبطريقة دبلوماسية إنه في النهاية ما حنقدر نصل للحل. نجي في البيت الاستوائية الكبرى. صوتي واضح؟
نعم واضح.
اوكي.
تفضل.
نجي في البيت الاستوائية الكبرى، ودي انا عم بكرر
معلش
في
انا
تكرار.
بقدر شنو معلش
اتفضل.
بس بالعربي سوري.
كميس
نعم
معلش
نعم.
بس يعني معلش I know that you're doing what is right, you feel right, but come on, we just have to remember that we're speaking to our other simple people
عربي
that
yes yeah
some
yeah.
of them have never even ما روح ذاته في مدرسة, and I know that you can speak our local Arabic.
Yes.
And yeah, they more
شكرا.
more so this kind of like classical Arabic and stuff. They
لا
usually will tell us, please, just Arabic Khartoum ساكت ده معلش بس brother.
بس لهم عشان نقدر يفهموا
شكرا.
الفكرة بتاعك والسؤال
نعم.
بتاعك. Thank you.
شكرا حداثة. في حاجات تانيين أنا ما بقدر أعمل
ما مشكلة
translation
لخبطوا
عشان
بالإنجليزي زي
كده
ما بيقولوا لخبط بس.
أوكي. يا
حولها
مشكلة
لإنجليزي.
I know it's
أوكي.
hard, but expression tanin is hard, but just try for us,
أوكي.
just for your people's sake, معلش.
ما في
We're
مشكلة.
having you as a leader for people.
أوكي.
Thank you.
أوكي.
Yeah.
مشكلة أنا كنا جا في بيت أنا استوائية.
Mhm.
بيت أنا استوائية. البيت أنا الاستوائية ده ملك لكل الاستوائيين وليس ملك لفئة معينة من الاستوائيين. بالنسبة لنا كاستوائيين احنا ليه ما بنقدر نجي في الحوار الاستوائي او نقاش الاستوائي حتى احنا بنقدر انه بنوحده نفسنا. هو مسألة انه انا بيقنع وتقنعني، ومسألة انه ما في زول تاني بيلغي التاني، ولا انه ما في زول تاني انه جاء الليلة از يلغي زول تومباري. لأن كل المطلب إذا كان إحنا عايزين إذا كان إحنا عايزين الانفصال، وإذا كان إحنا عايزين الفيدرالية، وأنا متأكد ما في استوائية طلب الوحدة، لكن الاستوائيين كلهم واقفين في خيارين: خيار الانفصال وخيار تطبيق النظام الفيدرالي في ظل الدولة الواحد. ده طيارين الموجود في استوائيين ده. طيب اذا كانت دي التيار الاثنين ده اللي هو دل بيطالب بالانفصال الاستوائي، ودل بيطالب بالفيدراليه في
انت رجعت العربي تاني
لا ما دي
الدارجة.
كلمه لا ما دي كلمه فيدراليه، دي كلمه عادي فيدرال سيستم.
اوكي
يعني دل اللي بيقول هم عايزين النظام بتاع فيدرال سيستم، ودل اللي بيقول هم عايزين نظام الانفصال الاستوائيه. طيب ليه احنا ما دام احنا الاثنين ليه احنا ما بنجي في الحوار في مناقشه في بيت استوائيين انه احنا بنستعمل حق الديمقراطي عشان احنا نصل للحل. في حالة إذا ما وصلنا للحل، ناس الانفصال بيقول خلاص كلنا عايزين ننفصل، وديل ناس انه بيطالب بنظام الفيدرالي يقول خلاص خلي احنا عايزين نظام فيدرالي في زي دولة واحد. خلاص في المثل بيقول كل طريق بدي لروما. انتوا ناس الانفصال انتوا واصلوا. اذا انتوا فصلتوا لنا الاستوائية الكبرى ده، احنا كلنا في بيت بنشكركم ونحن معكم في البيت واحد. اذا دل اللي بيقول احنا عايزين النظام الفيدرالي ده هم قادر يصل للحل، كذلك لسه عندنا مخزون الانفصال والفيدرالي ده ولسه جيجا نفسه في طريق واحد في بيت الاستوائي، ما اختلفنا. لكن انا بقول من باب الحكمه، من باب انه logic can understand, even you can able to convince international community that it means that you cannot reach to separation without unity of all Equatoria as a home of great Equatoria to unite for one purpose that we need to separate.
كان قاطعك. انت
تفضل.
كده اديني كلام بتاع unity ده. What is your definition in that unity؟ لانه انا I don't see that difficult. انت قاعد تشوف اسباب انه ما في unity في كلام ده، لانه I think انت just mentioned something about لازم البيت الاستوائي يتوحد او the Equatorian family must unite, because these things I hear it a lot from some people who don't
Okay.
see eye to eye with what we see. But go ahead and then أنا
اوكي.
yeah.
في اطار الاجتماعي او في social Equatoria is united. في اطار السياسي Equatoria is not united. It's not clear.
إذا أنت قاعد تتفق بالكلام ده، ما إحنا عارفين. أنا شايف نفس الحاجة، لكن أنت قاعد تخطه كأنه هو السبب الأساسي أو the main reason why Equatoria is not united, because السبب الأساسي ما الفكرة بتاع Equatorian كان مشتت.
ما
All it
انا
needs، ما جاي يقول إنه بس نديك فرصة. All it needs is a good leader or a group of people who can actually give awareness to the people of Equatoria to rise up and see clear things so they can go forward. لأنه أنت قاعد تقول unity ده كله difficulty بتاعه في ideas بتاعهم، then you really are missing the point هنا. Equatoria is united. كان أنت تقول في الفكرة بيقدر يروح، لكن الواقع بتاعه ياو أساس. واقع السؤال عايشين فوق اليوم هو إحنا في حالة بتاع شنو؟ في حالة بتاع تهجير، في حالة بتاع اغتصاب وقتل ونهب وحاجات كله، وكمان تهميش في السلطة في كل شيء. فده براو بيدينا
اوديسيا.
اليونتي. يس اتفضل.
لا انت طلعت في الخارج في النقطه اللي انا قبل بتكلم.
هل
انا
أنا
قلت
طلعت صح؟ أوكي.
انا قلت انه اجتماعيا في السوشيال جاذرينج احنا سواء ان وي يونايتد، لكن انه في سياسه عشان انه مشكله السياسه في الدوله استوائيين ما يونايتد.
كده ورينا السياسة
يعني
موجود في جنوب السودان ذاته عشان يجي إيكواتوريا يجيب في حاجة. إيكواتوريين ذاته ما مؤمنين بأي واحد، إن كان في آيو ولا إن كان في
لا انا ما قاصد اي او، لا انا ما
لا
قاصد.
أنا قاصد في معارضة أو
لا
في الإدارة. تعرف بس نقول لك
اوكي
ليه؟
على
سياستهم ليه؟ لأنه السياسة اللي قاعد تتكلموا فوق ده السياسة بتاعكم كله سياسة بتاع ده منو وده منو، لكن قاعد نتكلم في حاجة إنه الإيكواتوريين في وضع بتاعهم سياستهم وين بيختلف. هم كلهم عارفين هم في خطر، صح؟ السياسة اللي هم مفترض يلعبوها هو شنو؟ القادة ديل اللي عارفين الوضع بتاع إيكواتوريا كان use this for their benefit to help Equatorial to rise. فيونيتي ده بيكون ايزي. جو هيد. انا طبعا دي ترجمتك، اتفضل. سوري قاطعتك.
نعم. ما هو انه احنا لو رجعنا على الشعر بتاعنا كاستوائيين as a citizen، تلت ارباع 3/4 Equatorian اساسا ما فاضيين مع سياسه ولا ما فاضيين بقضيه الدوله، نقول لك بالصراحه كده. لكن المثقفين الاستوائيين intellectual Equatorians ذات اللي بيهمهم عشان يحرر حقوق الاستوائيين، ده هم الربع، ده هم الحسة منقسمين في اطار بتاع شنو؟ هم منقسمين انه ديل عايزين الفيدراليه وديل عايزين الانفصال.
يا فدرالية والانفصال.
نعم في كل
اوكي
ده
دي اختلاف. اوكي I
ده
understand you now. I
الاختلاف.
got it.
ياب ديل في كل ده احنا
وانا
من المفترض في
good.
كل ده احنا من المفترض نمشي في حوار الاستوائي. في حوار الاستوائي ده احنا بعد ده نقعد في بيت الاستوائية. بعد ده إن شنو احنا نتفق هل احنا بنقدر نتفق في النظام الفيدرالي ولا هل احنا بنقدر نتفق انه نمشي لانفصال. اذا في حاله احنا ما اتفقنا.
اتفضل. انت عملت ميوت ولا شنو؟ هلو انا ما قاعد نسمع صوتك. اعذرونا. I think Momo got his I think what he called something with his network if I'm not mistaken. He sounds like he's not muted but I can't hear his voice. Hello?
Okay.
Yeah, انت سمعت طبعا كلامه وانا بدنا welcome.
Okay, let me
Brother
help Hadassah شوية. Hadassah. Let me help her.
That's the sad or
We just wanted to help her, so that because she says she's
oh,
not
okay.
getting.
Adasa, did you hear what exactly?
She's not getting your government, the government talking.
Yeah, I said not necessarily. I was saying for me, I was saying because I said if you are seeing down here, Muslim
some people don't understand that.
People will say that please, can you just bring it down to Arabic Juba, or can you bring it down to just a simple Arabic Salah, just the Arabic? That's why I was like just the Arabic with the normal local Arabic we speak in Khartoum. I think they could break it down to understand because
I agree.
The thing is the separation or the problem to South Sudan, that we are not only talking to a level of intellectual people or to a group of us. Without the people down there that somebody did not study in Arabic or in English, without
the audience,
them,
I understand.
We are delivering the message just to the air. That's what I'm saying. You could be speaking, but then actually nobody gets you. Or maybe they could not even get anybody to translate to them exactly. And they value you, they want to hear exactly from you, the horse's mouth.
Okay. Can I get in? I want to say something. I want to challenge Momo.
First of all, if you can put this in, all what he has already pointed out, if you can put it in English clearly, so that people can understand, so we go from there, so that those who are not speaking, not Arabic speakers, will catch up also. Am I clear? Do you hear me? Hello? Hello, Atika?
I think
somebody called me, so I'm just trying. I say, Brother William, if you're listening, I'm live right now. I will get you if you want to say something. Just give me a chance. But عندنا نرجع للكلام. انت قلت شنو سؤال انا ما سمعتك because I was
briefly. Can you brief them?
On what again?
Can you brief your audience, about what Momo has
the topic was simple. Like he said there is a division. I think everybody heard it clear. I don't think they have
Arabic,
a difference.
he was talking in Arabic, not fair.
أنا عربي ذات في ناس ما بيفهموا كمان قاعدين يقولوا. Okay, let me just say it in English as I can. Okay, what it says clearly that there is differences in our political status. I mean, in politics, based on as Equatorians, we are different. We are different in our political, affiliation or political views. On some people want to stand on federalism, and like us who are standing for separation. But I really don't see it even as a problem, to be honest. I don't see. I shudder to see anything that really challenge Equatorian unity on that matter, even if it was different opinions.
You don't have to elaborate. Just explain it.
That's what I'm trying to say. Man, I could respond to him, and then I want to give
a question. Then answer.
If you have any question, please throw it. Because I'm just saying. For me, I was trying to respond to him once he come back, but something happened to his network. When at a point, then just throw it there, and then I wanted to.
Just going to go over what the government have said.
So اتفضل. انت عندك
الحق. He says, the first point, he point out, is that if you are looking for separation, then there has to be in a disciplined way, in right way, disciplined way, and all that. That's what he says in the first place. And then the second, he says, Of course, there are those who are for federal. There are two. We have now been divided into two camps: those who are going for separations, and the other ones who are going for federation, or for federal system, right? Then yeah, and he says, the best way, definitely, he seems to be suggesting that the best way should have been, people should go to an Equatorian dialogues, Equatorian dialogues. That would have been the best way for unifications. Of course, that was in the unification and unity of the Equatorians, of which you have answered a little bit. And then الإطار السياسي الاستوائية غير موحد, of course, that is about the unity of Equatoria. He says, Equatoria, 2/3 or 2/4 of Equatorians doesn't care about politics, all right? Other than, 1/4, probably, 1/4 of Equatorians are most probably, they are the one concentrating on politics and all that. So politically, he's saying that, Equatoria is not united, of course, other than 1/4 of the Equatorian people. So that's what he has said.
Okay.
And then again, yeah, he went on repeating the same thing again.
Okay.
So that's very much the issue.
Let
Now,
me jump here.
Yeah, for me, yeah, we may go for comment.
Okay.
So go ahead.
I want to jump here quick, and then Gabliman jump here.
No, I was just putting it, so that people out there understand what the government have said.
Yes, let me give Fursa to Brother Gore. Welcome, brother. It's been a while since you've been live with us and talk. It's good to see you again. So yes, as you hear us, I don't know what's your input. وعندك أسئلة ولا إضافات لكلام ده اتفضل. You got the chance.
كانوا جايب كمان ما بس.
Okay, just
Oh, what happened? Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, brother Ethic. A long time. I was a little bit busy somewhere. Yeah, that's why I was off from the media. It was only yesterday that Ana kan Jadakalfi. There was a show of one guy, Alana Jasmo. So anyway, let me greet you and your viewers and CJ and my sister over there, and Momo. I think he left. I don't know for reason
Network
maybe
the
the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. The discussion is good. Yeah, always as I said, it is good to be talking. And it become quest as an kedan na wonusu. Because kan nas wonusu and wo quest as an kamfi haja na mungkin bag darjafi understanding unna as an na be anna baar banna bamusu. Lakin itano ana momo itano wonusu kalam muhim jiddan. Yani momo asal soal gali yake house tanna ta Equatorial hal jua tanna deja tanna kotu anna kotu fi anna feris huo quest de soal tabana na gonu sasan kede nas kan de taban nas ki complain gali yake arabi fi anna bonus ma arabi ta juba de suya yani jua tanna de hal yani wo anna sala huo quest so yani soal de muhim kalis lanu jua itano kanta sala jua take kanta ma dogu tin fogo yani ita kotu gas rasto yani kan sala kan nas ma bagder geni fogo so muskila tanna ta jere ya Africa yani anna indana we have a problem anna indana muskila je mu kelim yani anna indana wahida يعني اجتماعية يعني كان في social gathering مثلا كان ناجي تاني حصل لإيكواتوريان ممكن أن ممكن أن بيساعدوا بعدين لكن في ناحية السياسة أن ما يونايتد أن unity the purpose يا جماعة it's not about separation it's not about nasal separatists or unionists it is about purpose the Equatorial جاتو هو سورو يعني أن كان عندنا unity the purpose يعني كان حاجات كله بيروح كويس كان يعني كان بيكون ما في داعي انه يا اخي ده مثلا اكواتوريا ده مثلا هو في اتجاهاته مثلا بوليتيكالي مثلا سياسيا هو كان في اتجاهاته لكن هدف ده ناجو سنو والله يا افريكا ايتانو يعني ما في اكواتوريا انا قلت ما في what is taking place in Equatoria is not acceptable you know يعني كتل وحاجات كله الرابينج وحاجات كله هجر الناس قاعدين يحجروا ناس ده is not acceptable you know لكن we as Equatorian what can we do you know that's why we are coming back to this unity of purpose you know يعني إتانو يعني كان مثلا في الناس طبعا انا بالنسبه لي I'm not against اي حاجه الاكواتوريان قاموا بتاعنا لانه ما في حاجه الاكواتوريان قاموا بطل you know اي حاجه الاكواتوريان قاموا for the benefit of Equatoria you know even ناس ثانيين إتانو كان تروح في السيد إتا ممكن بقدر كان إتا ممكن خمسة في جوا إتا كروح في السيد ده بيجيبوا ده بيروح مثلا بيجيبوا ديك ده بيجيبوا يمكن تير ياتو على السكر ده بيجيبوا سنو ده حاجات ده بيكتب في محل واحد إتانو ناس كله تبعت ده باكل إتانو this is supposed to be what Equatorial is about you know it's not about they gamul sunu it is about the purpose إتانو هل نزل جساكل ده نزل جساكل لنفوسهم إتانو حاجة الواحد يا جرده يا أفريقيا I used to say this all the time and once and all the time you know إتانو even this is why I'm saying Anna Phelan is not united even not separatists إتانو I'm not against anybody you know I like everybody you know أنا Equatorian I'm proud to be an Equatorian وأنا I like any Equatorian you know yeah and I like any human being في الدنيا you know لكن جول البيم في معنا كويس بطل ده أنا بيكون ما كويس you know لكن look at the separatists برام you know itu قسمته على كم you know ده هل ده بوري قال في Equatorial United you know this is the question يا جرى ده this is why Momo put it right you know
فينا جاوب في الكلام ده if you don't mind كلام
Yeah.
بتسكيز ده
No. Let him finish.
كده أنا روح قدام.
Okay.
أخذ point ناي. إذا أنو مو كلمة عن Equatorial to Equatorial dialogue, you know. Equatorial to Equatorial dialogue. ده أمولو إذا أنو أمولو كحكيم داريوس. I'm following all this. حكيم داريوس أمول أجر. Where is this حاجات ده, you know. حاجات ده أكير وين, you know. أنا Equatorial إذا أنو group تنا كبار إذا أنو. أيزول قامولو حاجة و ده ريسبيت إذا أنو. يعني إتا some ناس قاعدين يموت ده تحت دينك يا جدي ده people are dying down دينك ده ناس ده ما بيعرف في صوت كده ناس الميتين تحت دينك ده نازل ما عنده قريبه ما يعني they are dying innocently لكن نحن سياسيين دل we have a big heart you know شوف Equatorial براو يعني كده ناسينه في حاجه في اسكا ده قسم على كم you know اسكا تا يو اس ده قسم على كم لايتنين you know why all this you know it is because أن عندنا جروب ايزول جامل حاجته تاني نجامل عشان كده عرفوا قالوا he is doing something لكن إتانو let us do same for Equatorial إتانو حتى أنا بيكون بيتكلم معك في سياسة إتانو لكن I'm sure that يا أفريقيا Ita Equatorial, I respect you 100%, even if ita beside tani ita, because all one day, Anna can limu Anna Lisa bikun Equatorial ita. Even suppression ne, if things doesn't go well, not sanin de ita no, the unity, the unionism de ita no, the only option is this suppression ita no. Lakin how do we go about it? This is the question that we have to sit down. And then ma sitting down people as nas visiting badon respect exactly. You know we have to respect each other itano yani joltani karoa pia jere de itano ana kan fi side tani de wala ya eteka ana kan askeri ja fi jelsa so ta junub de itano ana Equatorial ana kana inuita dal keda na katuita will not kill you itano because you are Equatorial because ana indigal but Equatorial you know let us have that hard gel balin na indana de gal yaki de Equatorial de fela hatta lo kam biga poto anna fi mahalal de anna lisa we will come out as Equatorial nitan de haja lana besa jori leta kan ta inda swal je aje de kelim makalam ta kalam malta mun katu ta na ja then you can go ahead yeah
Yes, thank you. I didn't point in a quiz. أنا قاعدتكم يا شباب. Welcome again to Uncle Momo. Thank you for joining us. Why as well can join? We put the link. It's good to talk as brothers. This is Equatorial Forum. Before I
Exactly.
say anything, this is Equatorial Free Forum. Here we don't insult each other personally. We don't talk anything that out of line. We here we look at each other's issues and our people back
Exactly.
home. This is why we are here. أنا فتحنا forum ده عشان paint أنا زي ما فتحنا هنا عشان نحن بدنا نوري حالنا منو what we're doing. We are crying for our people. If we speak and we gather our people, at least هم ما seeing the problem. شنو قاعد يدور هناك؟ هم بيسي to this forum. هم يتكلموا، لازم يتكلموا عشان نحن نوصل لحل. The more we talk قال حتى marriage كان رجعنا بس عشان نجي نقول في point هاي. حتى في زواج ما بيقدر ينجح إلا بدون في يكون في communication. كان ما
Exactly.
في communication زواج بيفرتك، لأنه الموضوع ده ما بس يعني بدون مؤاخذة كوس ولا بس قال هنا جد فوقه ريل مارج، فوقه حاجات كتير يعني بتدخل بعلاقة بتاع حب. ويس كمان حب ده ما بس كلام بس حب كده، لازم تكون في اكشن، وفي اكشن فوقه كمان شنو communication. احنا as Equatorian we are in danger. That's why we're coming here to speak, because we love our people so much that our enemies think they are enemies. You know, we hate them, but we don't hate them. If loving my people is hating them, then let it be, because I love my people so much that I have to watch for their their welfare and their safety. It's not about them, you know, claiming هم ياو as so أنا بدي نرجع في point هاي هنا. كلام انت قلته separatists حتى ما united. Thank you تجيب كلام ده very important my brother. شكرا لك تجيب لأنه كلام ده it's good that it come from our Equatorian brother. لأنه it's sad. It's really sad. I admit there is problem. لكن I don't think this problem of separatists هسه قاعد تشوفهم في السوشيال ميديا قاعدين يشتموا بعض أو قاعد يكره الثاني، ده كله أنا بلوك at it as a personal issues بتاعهم بقاعدين يخلطوه مع موضوع بتاع الشعب بتاعنا. لأنه في ناس عندهم desire to leadership without understanding what is the responsibility of leadership. الموضوع هو ما leadership. الموضوع هو the problem, the case we are raising up to the people. احنا ناس تانا قاعدين نموتوا قاعدين يدروا، ناس تاني يقول يا اخي انا كان كم سنه قاعد نقف في فيسبوك قاعد نتكلم. اوكي تتكلمت، but what did you do with that word? At least we are doing something here behind the scene. رغم اننا قاعدين struggle with things، لكن we are committed to this idea in Equatoria must be a nation by itself. That's the reason why we're standing up for this. ده ما موضوع بتاع انه داير نجي هنا عشان زول يعرفنا انه منو وانا جنب منو وانا شغال وين. This is irrelevant. في الناس هناك قاعد يقول يا رب ادينا الزول عشان يقدر يساعدني. في ايتام هناك، في orphans يتموا من ورا حاجات بيجيز ديل. And let's be clear، انا قاعد نقول بيجيز because هم are the only people قاعد cause problem في جنوب السودان كله. But في ناس خايفين يقولوا الكلام ده، لكن ما قاعد نخاف. We tell it as it is because to free our people we have to tell the truth to them so they can see it and wake up and do the right thing. الناس اللي قاعدين create يعني fight or conflict within each other ده، most of these people let's dismiss them. كان زول تاني قاعد يجي يتكلم كلام فارغ، قاعد يقولوا سبرتيس لاخوه الثاني، وزول ده قاعد يعمل نفس الحاجه قاعد يعمله، ولكن وما داري acknowledge that لانه زول ده بس ليه ياو يمسك حاجه ده. معناته you gotta question that person from the beginning of his الدخول بتاعه في حاجه ده. هل هو كان جاي لمصلحه بتاعه الشخصي عشان يجي يعمل حاجه ده، ولا هو كان جاي لهدف بتاع ينقذ ناس ديل؟ لانه our people are dying. Our people are really losing themselves over there. That's a confusion اللي قاعد يحصل في سياسات جنوب السودان ده، في وسط عقليه ايكوتوريا سياسيا is because of these issues. I know it's a very important question you ask because we cannot ignore something like that. لكن انا بتمنى من الشخصيات اللي قاعدين يكون لهم نوايا بتاع طمع وضغينه وحاجات اللي ما كويس ده، خليهم يلوك ديكتاتوريا. حتى لو بيكرهني let him hate me or hate whoever. لكن even كان عندي I dislike somebody، حتى لو في زول انا بعرف في ناس ثانيين قلادين they don't respect themselves and I really kind of like don't like them for that. لكن شنو انا بخلي ده blind me عشان انا اجي اقوم اتكلم كلمات فارغ له او انا اعمل نفسي هنا. انا have to focus on the objective بتاع ايكواتوريا، لانه الناس ديل they need us. This is the reason why we are here. But let us not look at it as a big issue اللي بيخلينا، لكن احنا advise them لانهم يعصوا في ويست هنا. الناس قايمه حركات في ويست، لكن الناس التانيين هناك ده trust me كان هسه separation دي جابوه بورقه بس. You will see ايكواتوريا بيكون دوله. This is what we are striving for and it will happen. Okay? We are not going to waste our time on just talking. We are talking and we are working behind the scene to let our people know that we are fighting for our people. احنا فينا نختلف في آراء السياسة like we disagree with you in politics، لكن ما معناته إننا ما brothers. and I give you the highest respect because you're my brother and you always advise me to. If I get to worry, had to worry, I get stuff and I didn't know, and I took it to heart and I began to learn, how to deal with it and how to also focus on putting this gap already for Rignade. I'll خلي كتوري break ده close it. So عشان كده قاعد نعمل حاجة ده. So yeah, thank you. أنا ما أعرف في عنده سؤال لbrother Gore and then Momo. Wait,
And I'm just confused a bit. I'm just confused a bit here in something. I just want to welcome, my brother Momo back. Sorry, your network dropped you off.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Shukra.
Yeah. So thank you. And I was there. My brother Goro. Did I pronounce your name right? Goro. Goro. Which?
Gore. Ita
Gore.
nishita
Yeah, Goro.
look at the Karo wala shinu Karo.
Logore.
Yeah, Goro.
Ay,
Banda Goro.
na what yake da na boda.
No, wait.
Sasa احنا نذكر ناس في هسه ماشيين في بيعملوا misinterpret طبعا عندنا مترجمين كده ماشيين غلط دائما هسه ده topic شنو؟
I'm
ده
just
topic
trying to
self
practice.
Victoria.
Sorry. I was just practicing what I know with the brother.
No,
so
I
yeah.
know. ما هسه انا قاعد انت قلت باندا ده هسه ناس ثانيين في الانتي كاتوريان يونايتد ده اللي عندهم هم شغالين مع ايجنت بيجيز ده كانت قلت كلام قال شوف ده سكن كاتوريان نو this ايكواتوريان كله هنا ما قلنا
كده ممكن لاي حاجه ده كلام فارغ.
I know we are Equatorians.
انا قاعد يمكن تبغى غزل كمان.
اتفضل go ahead.
Can I hold brother Momo back here because he was actually
اتفضل.
Yeah. And I was there Gora, you mentioned something interesting that you said. Momo also mentioned Kalamta unity there. Ana Kangainu is like Lana Ena Istowiyan. We just I think playing a bit complicated, like a game of catch and fetch or something. That if you can, if you catch me if you can, because Ana Kangano, the unity Alena speak about there. I'm talking coming from across, from a view of being, Equatorian, at the same time a sister, at the same time, a daughter of Equatoria, and at the same time a mother,
Respect for you, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, thank you. So Ana Kangano, Akonatai is like, and united. أنا ما يتكلم قال إنما united. We're not only united في مثلا قال مناسبات or social gathering and مثلا إننا كان funeral and stuff like that. كان إنما united those occasions that إننا جي call قال we're united only just in socially وشنو ده ما بيhappen ذاته. إذا كان ما عنده unity ما زول unity means togetherness, إذا كان ما عنده oneness ما زول togetherness ما زول إذا ذاته ما بيجا في gathering تاتوري. Ita kan nara indu mashakil ma zoltani aku tani sasala kan bigi tendu shunu oma bija kan zaran minita completely oma bija. But enna gakadar kutu differences tanna site na gakadar unite for the purpose, for the shape of what is taking place. Yalla, come on, let me take it quick. I just wanted to say that when you, my brother, my dear brother, when you say that look at Kedainu separatists there, I don't think the separatists, when you group all the separatists, I don't know about the rest of the separatists out there, but I don't think the separatists are the really troublemakers in Shadid. Either maybe you will pick one or two or something, that decided to run their courses in a different way, and I should say that we Equatorians should not use this as an excuse, Gale, because there's one Equatorian or one element aside Tana is behaving in a such and such. Kalas, you know what? We should drop the matter tabele Tana, because look at the Nasanin, the Jeng people and the newer people. They're killing people, but like crazy. They hated this themselves. Look at Allah for each other. They don't have politeness towards each other. Look what is happening to them and what they have brought to us. But at the end of the day, need to kill my wahid best. Kangali kan fi adu gija ashanu mon mungkin galaker hey kadana sibu mashakil time makuta ide bes kadana unite kalam ta adu al gija de. ما في مشاكل جنتها في نسبة تومون ما جي كلاسو ممكن شكلك ناس جي شكل كلام إبرة because of a needle, because of mosquito net. Itano lemsia ta boda da wala gisi duban sakit naza be cattle, but don't even 40 families last time died because of that. But naze mend the unity among them ashan situation be displacing na. Mend the unity among almon be mistreating na. Mend the unity among ashan bija take region tanna. They do have the unity of purpose, unity to advance themselves. unity for their needs, you know. They are unity هنا زره. يلا كمان مشكلة تانية هنا ذاته. The problem is not the separatists. I would really put this clear out there. The problem is the NASTA unity there. People who are standing for the unity, they are just confused people a little bit, if I could say that. My other family, my Equatorian family that are in unity, they are a bit confused. First of all, ita kananu NASTA nindel data apanal wende. Monidu ita kananu monkulu apanal bahar al-Ghazal. Monidu movements to monki happen. But one magi disagree my movement to the movement to al-Gali for the unity there, which is South Sudan. They're in there. They don't disagree. They don't have problem, but when they have also their own private generation, their own tribal movements. Man magi disagree my private movement, they don't come and tell them that, why are you for separation? Why are you advancing the Gen Council stuff? Let's go for unity. They don't do stuff there. Can if they have Gali Munas Masufarata unity, some of that was Afuku, Kalas. They're just going for it. Because it's for the purpose of saving them and advancing their generation ahead. But when you come to us, NASA unity, they are very difficult. They're very complicated. They look at one aspect only. What will I gain if I stick with the unity? My position. Or because of Zolda Kalfi Hinagde. But if I assess Zolde Fi Hinagde Zolde, is he really serving the cause of Equatorian? Kanena Galima Salan Kanena expand the Gisim Tanna Equatorians. We expand ourselves into different various parties and munu, and we believe it, we take it as a religion. She did, that we can able to be hate one another because of those parties, guys. Yala tape. Kanita inak fifi masalan isinto shino ako taitani dagda fi ayo, ako taitani dagda nas which is in Soma, which is nas is unity. The same, and nas is just the same as SPLA is the unity. It's just another party of SPLA with the name NAS because it's unity. The same thing in South Sudan is calling themselves the government of unity. It's just the same thing because they're the same gang, the same culture. There's no difference. That's why we say that let's make something for Equatoria, even if you say you're there, but your loyalty, your full loyalty should be at home. Your full loyalty should be where your daughter is being raped, your child is being killed, your land is being grabbed. You cannot stand for unity when Zola Tegistan more unity there is the same person who has killed and raped and displaced you, advancing themselves, money laundering, taking the money, advancing Yalto Munjesh Al Ahmar and Bija take over. You cannot do that. No way. Nobody be able kalam dezare. Me as a mother, I will feed my own children before I go and feed somebody else's children out there. And the same, that's what you see the West do. When they come up with vaccine or they come up with feed the national money after when they have satisfied their own people, because it allows them to look for your better hour before you solve your own problem, and then you begin to be a leader out there. You cannot lead somebody before you lead yourself. This is why the problem that I have with the problem of the NASA unity, that's why they just have a little bit of misunderstanding. Yalla Deb, our unity here, we're talking about unity to rescue ourselves from what is befalling us, really. Okay? But then, it's like, for example, we have already united in many things. Forget about the social aspect that people has now catching this thing like a virus. They started saying that, oh yeah, we united in social and in funerals.
I think her network also has an issue.
Yeah, asma kira ana response we wala kira
Okay, yeah. Hadass, okay.
wala momo kaman
أنا بحاول أنا بput a timing because that way be easy, and please when you do the timing, please everybody and just leave it for the next chance without no منيجي تاني نديك فرصة. So I wanted to also welcome brother Hinaida, brother Martin. Thank you for joining us. أيوة.
أنا بعرف أسأل brother Momo whether he finished his.
No, هو لسه ما خلص كان.
ولو ما انتهى let him wrap it up, and then we go.
Okay. في نعمل حاجة تاني أنا جاي أستأذن. جاي أعمل حاجة مهم لأنه أنا عاوز حاجة ده يكون let me just, if you can just do me this favor, guys.
Yeah, because I wanted to speak too. I wanted to comment on what
الفولورز
comes from
كمان
Mama.
معانا. أنا جاي
Go
أحاول
ahead.
shut this off so I can start another one لأنه عشان ما go far time نرجع
Thank
تاني
you.
if you don't
That's
mind.
better.
Okay.
That's better.
That will be
I
better.
do بتاعنا كله all the guests. I'm gonna come back again with a new the same هنا ده بس في بكون هنا هيكون في اسمه شنو ده different one عشان نعمل 3 hours. So I just want to do it because it's important to talk because حاجات ده مهم والكويس تجيتوا بأسئلة ده لأنه عشان نقدر everybody understand إحنا في الطريق. And this is what we need to talk about as Equatorian brothers. نجي ما كلاماتنا شتايم وإهانات وقبينة حاجات ده ما بدينا قدام. We Equatorian we are fighting for our survival now. ونحن زي ما قال I would say Uncle David was sung على القادة السياسيين والشباب والشابات الناشطين يعني وقد agree يكون لنا الروح بتاع روح السياسي اليوم في منطقة استوائية في مساحات روح حدود الأخلاقيات أو اختلافات يعني روح حدود اختلافات في حدود الوعي يعني زي امبارح البرنامج اللي حصل ده was very sad يعني لدرجة في إهانات وكلامات يعني it was shameful for us even it lowered our standards as Equatorian يعني
but the good thing he's not an Equatorian. That's the good thing, you know.
I know لأنه في لا أنا قاصد في الشو الثاني الريسبوندر the other one he put his point لأنه أنا جاي أتكلم بعدين في الموضوع ده لما نرجع لكننا كاستوائيين كمان ما نجي نهين حالنا وإحنا the way how we talk like إحنا كان حتى عندنا حاجة زي ما قال كان مشكلة البيت ما نطلعه برا نخوض زي كأنه بيشروا برا زي airing your laundry out you know because it's not right.
Ita Afrika لو كان عندنا كمان يعني نكون عندنا محل مثلا تساكل اجاتو تساتايم ده كده ده ايكواتوريان براو اصلا بقدر ساكل هناك ناس نيجي ما عارف هناك قاموا ده would be better man.
ما المشكله ما بيجي على
no هم ما بيجي ما هم بيروا هناك هم
الناس ما قاعد يجي انا قلنا حاجه مغلق ما قاعد يجوا
ما بيجي
اوكي انا بعتذر لكم انا بيجي هسه جاي افتح واحد جديد يلا نيجي جوا ثاني and then we can do it because today is Friday and it's good that our family come together and it's important. طبعا ما قاعدين نتكلم على بيقول شنو we are trying to support an political ideology. We are supporting Equatoria. That's what it. احنا كلنا for Equatoria but they are the main thing. So أرجوكم ارجعوا back and then we'll be there. So thank you guys for watching. Let me just put this music final and then I'll get out after this one. Thank you.
Oh na 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 na, yeah. Banana kala. Na 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 na. Anina wahi. Anina sawa. Oh yeah. Anina ikotori. Na sawa. Anina ikotori. Beled wahi. Anina ikotori. Anina. Anina ikotori. Oh yeah, kanita miniambio, kanita mintori, weleta minjuba, yeah. Anina ikotori, keresia sama gesi manina. Yeah. We strong, we stand together. Yeah. Kanina guluwahi, ikotori ya birapa. Yalpilwa pijama, asan belet na biraba. So give us pen and give us guns. Oh yeah. Give us ibanabule. Oh yeah. Anina ikotori. Nasawa, anina ikotori. Belet wahid, anina ikotori. Anina ikotori. Oh yeah, kanita zande, kanita mai, au kukuye, anina ikotori. Kelene na hibo nefusina, kebilia kede maferiganina. Salam wa sahafa, behaja derino, hasan belet na biraba, arif mabisaido. So give us pen and give us guns. Oh yeah. Give us ipanabule. Oh yeah. Anina ikotori. Nasawa. Anina ikotori. بلد واحد علينا إيكوتوريين علينا إيكوتوريين
نحن كل سوا يا جماعة show my help and Ngala. I love my people and I'm the voice.
Acholi ya buga ya baka Kuninga balanda mari Kakuwa kiliku Lango lungoya Acholi Kosa mundo Nyambara morobe madi Mundare Nyambara Otumo pari makojudo Lubara buga ya lobe Lolo Kosa
Mundo
Nare
Anna kulu nasi sawa Mavi hata bigesi manena Siasa mabigesi manena Alina wahe
Okay, thank you guys. We'll be seeing you in a second in the next live. Just wait that 5 minutes. Thank you.